don't have a team behind them, aren't moving a certain way and have the certain tools in order to secure their existence in this realm for whatever it's meant to be. And then I guess you have to argue, well, then what is meant to be? Right?
Well,
Are you meant to be taken or killed when the time comes and not put up any resistance?
A lot of good questions, and it's a lot of leading, because what I'm finding out is here's where the big trick comes in. This is where we fuck up, is the ego, right? We get up to that ego too much. That ego is going to get you in trouble. It might help you if you're about to go off of a cliff, but it ain't going to help you if you think you're going to allow it to mind manipulate you in such a way that you're just going to try to thwart and do all this stuff, right? Without, because I'm finding that when you're in that flow, when you're in what I call the flow state, when you're in that gentle positioning with God.
Please call it a flow space, sir. Flow space. If we could just breathe.
Right.
Please.
I know that. Hey, I'm not gonna let Mr. Flow State steal that.
The term's been corrupted.
I feel you, but I can't. Either way. It's the ego that gets us into those traps. If we're taking that intentional time and we're spending that quiet time, we will be making the right moves forward. And it won't be just wasted time, or getting us in hot water. That's
again, we've been men and women as long as we've been men and women from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And from the beginning of time, motherfuckers had armies. They had their militias, right? They had their certain level of preparation and a certain understanding that at some point you may have to put up or shut up. And shut up may be looking like giving your life or having your life taken, because there's a difference between giving your life to a cause and having it taken. Right. So, again, easier said than done to say, we're going to keep the faith. We're going to walk alone, and we're just going to let whoever and whatever come for us and let them do to us what they wish. Right. You live in a real world, I guess, as real as it's going to get, whatever that means, a reality, somewhat real, real enough to see and feel, as they say, the feelers. So, if you put yourself, I guess maybe that could be a product of what you're calling the ego. Put yourself in a simulation where history repeats itself, and folks ain't taking no for an answer, right? So, we can talk that shit on panel, and we can live that way day to day when everything's great or even when everything's bad. But when a motherfucker's coming for you and acting on you and they're on your heels, a different kind of instinct, so to speak.
It is. No, it is.
Kicks in, right?
I want to give an example. When I was at an old job years ago, now this is kind of what I'm talking about. I have learned, and I want to pass this on to all you, that if it's too much physical doership, not as much is going to be accomplished as we think. And I'm going to give you an example. I was at an office job years ago, prior to the pandemic. And this one particular time, I was learning something new. I wanted to move my desk across the office. I had a small office environment, totally chill. But where they had me at, I had these ladies firing up these damn space heaters year round, even in the goddamn summer. Like, what are you doing, right? But that's what they was doing. A lot of extra sunlight in that area and a lot of chattiness. So I really wasn't able to focus as much as I'd like. So I politely asked, can I move my desk down here? There's all this empty space. It'd be perfect for me. They were like, no, that's just for your training. No, there's too much sensitive information down here. You can't come down here. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, really. So then right as she walked away, I said, I'll show you. And I said that inside, I'll show you. And I went into prayer about it. I was like, can you help me move my desk? And I for real asked. I'm telling you, the next day or so, I get a knock on my desk. Her countenance is totally different. Totally different. She's like, so we talked about it and you can move your desk down here. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, it's no problem. I'm like, what do you mean it's no problem? She's like, it's no problem. And I was like, okay. And I started
listen, I didn't mean to cut you up, but I totally get what you're saying. We
gotta execute some of these moves in the spirit, not in the physical, because that's how this realm works. And that's the fucking reason why people get themselves in these traps all the time, or frustration pits in their lives, because they're like, well, I'm just trying to do all this stuff. It's like, right, but how are you trying to do it? Because there's
reactivity can seem beneficial at times and be part of the instinctual mechanism, but isn't necessarily always the highest power, the highest good. I totally get that, because I've had those experiences where I just kind of surrendered over to the heart space and things turned out as they were meant to, better than I thought they were meant to, by far, because a different state of consciousness was accessed, right?
Right.
So, I can't deny those experiences, and I can't deny how powerful they are, and I can't deny the fact that it's pretty much centered on what we would call love, true care, which is really just recognition of self as self. Right? If you're able to get your potential enemy in front of you to recognize you and them as one, then they cease to be an enemy through understanding, right? Understand your enemy ceases to be your enemy. So it's absolutely not only possible, I've done it a handful of times and I've talked about it here. Being on the bus, having gang members approach me drunk, wanting to rob, wanting to kill, steal, whatever, it's all the same shit, really.
Yeah.
And getting into the mode with me. And then me pretty much just saying, just like I am now, who and what I am and what I'm here to do and what I'm not here to do. And watching their whole countenance change, their whole energy change, them tell me they love me and that they would do for me if I needed anything. And it was very powerful because initially you're thinking, okay, there's three of these guys, who's the biggest guy? Who am I going to hit first? Because typically they teach you once somebody gets into your inner space, a certain circle of space, and they're being intimidating, you need to strike first because if not, they're going to ragdoll you. Right.
Yeah, I
So
feel
you
that.
essentially, yeah. So, again, it's I guess, the practice of discipline and staying in that loving, caring, unified space up until there's no other choice.
Well, see, and
Um,
here's the other thing, Paul. I deal with this all the time, talking to these Christians that hold the Bible and they say this is God's word, right? And they worship this book and they do it with all these different books. And it's like, why would you think the thing that created you expects you to totally live your life based on literature that's written down? That's laziness, right? They don't see it that way. But when you really start to look under the hood of things, you start to see,
right.
Christ's teachings don't line up with this Old Testament God that wants blood. What's up with that, right? Or the fact that in the Old Testament it says that the heart's wicked. Who can know it, right? No, I think that the carnal mind's wicked. Who can know that? But the heart space is that pure place where the Father can deposit spiritual information, right? The left side of the brain or the right side. Christ said, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. What the fuck does that mean? That means that when you get that spiritual inkling that somebody needs your assistance and help and it's within your power to do it, don't even second guess it. Well, how am I going to be able to pay for that? I used to do that. And then I stopped doing that and I
Yeah,
started
I had
giving,
it happen yesterday.
right?
It was a simulation that happened here where I had a thought for the past week, which is an uncharacteristic thought about a specific person and extending them value. And then, kind of holding off on it because I see a pattern and a theme with them in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a person who typically asks me for anything.
Mm.
So when he reached out to me almost immediately after having that inclination to do that on my own, seemingly on my own, whatever that means, um, he reached out and asked me directly. So I kind of took that as a synchronicity that he needed something done. He doesn't typically ask. He's helped me in the past in certain ways, right? So it's almost like that's meant to be in a sense,
Mm.
right? There was no resistance there. There was no lack of clarity. It was a foreshadowing of what was to come, in a sense. And again, it may sound silly, but very uncharacteristic nowadays with me and with him and our relationship and just everything in general. So you kind of know it when you're there, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have these
Yeah.
premonitions and you have this foresight and then you see something come about, you realize it's an opportunity to practice certain things for yourself. It's really not about the money or
Yeah,
whatever else. It's
absolutely.
probably about acceptance, letting go, understanding that you're in sync with something bigger, higher than yourself, and not getting in your own or anyone else's way. Right.
Well said. Well said, Paul. I like that. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, for sure. Yep. That's what it is, man. I'm trying to inspire people just to go deeper with God and stop making excuses, stop living their life and creating a God in their own heart space that's fucked up, that just wants to go judge everything and kill everything. That's not our Father. No. That's not source creation. No. You
Right. But
fucked
let's
up,
be
go kill
clear.
this animal.
Well, let's be clear. Well, that killing is killing is a different modality that should be self evident to the heart, if you will. But
Yeah.
um, this mischaracterization that seems to go on nowadays on here, chiefly, I'm sure it goes on in the world more than we'd like to focus on. But this characterization of me specifically being animalistic or judgmental by taking an interest in certain folks and their life story and their lack of results when I have results to point to, not by living my way, but precisely by putting my way aside. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea of not the father, animalistic, egotistical, narcissistic. there is a worldly component to this experience, right? Again, we're in the
Duality.
world, not of it. So yeah, we have to live in the world,
Yes.
whatever that is, as a conceptualization. So while we're not of it, we have to live in the world, and we have to observe the results that we have in ourselves and in the world in order to get more, quote unquote, more into alignment with what's meant for us on all levels. So
Yeah,
it's a fine
absolutely.
line nowadays. You get what I'm saying? It's a
I do.
fine line
No, it
nowadays in these
is.
other platforms where truth is ignored for what is favorable to the feelers and to what seems to be the heart, when really
Oh
it's the
yeah.
emotional state.
No, and bro, I get where you're coming from, and I'm not coming down on you in any way, shape, or form. I'm more
No,
talking
I know
about the
that.
individuals that have these like interactions with people on a personal level. Like they did this to me, and bro, I was the other day I was out and I went to a community group that I visit every now and then. Visit these folks, have a little home church, and have some food in their house. And as I was coming up to the door, I saw my friend's 8-year-old or 10-year-old son. And right as I looked at him, he like the kid was asking for something. I could see him through the door, and I heard Big Papa say, like, just like that. It was like my finger went out. I want you to look at them all like that. And I was like, what? And it just came to me. I want you to look at them all like kids. And when they throw temper tantrums and they act fucked up, you continue to compose yourself and don't allow it to affect you because you see what it is. And I'm like, wow, I'm
I
telling you,
accept
these
that.
revelations are coming so fast these days, bro.
I accept that. That's the daddy archetype that I put forth here. That's the uncomfortable truth beyond the bit non bit. Is there's an archetype of father consciousness that, when embodied, we can have certain level of clarity, peace, discernment, and co-create
Yeah.
beyond the feeler space in what is true and correct and proper,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is the
Correct.
space of the sacred masculine or father consciousness. What is true and correct and proper, but again, it cannot be forced,
Yeah.
right? You cannot embody a tyrannical space like Mr. Gauchi, who added me to Facebook today. The fake that he is, the phony, the fraud. Um, he's a toxic masculine, toxic effeminate conscious and awareness who seeks to use the sacred principles out of alignment with what his duty and or ability is, much like the agents of this world. So
Right.
it's one thing if you want to claim the space of father consciousness in alignment with the universe, sacred masculine and feminine, but you have to be yielding and you have to have discernment, and you cannot be tyrannical and force your will, even in a passive aggressive, especially in a passive aggressive online forum, using your buttons in order to silence folks and cut out their tongue metaphorically, metaversally. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
100.
not how that works. That's not how that looks. That's not how that feels. And that's why the majority of women in chat recoil from you and your energy, because you have a passive aggressive, toxic, effeminate streak to you. And you want to claim to be accessing a father God state of consciousness. I don't buy it. And when I look
Yeah.
into your eyes, the windows to the soul, it tells most of the story before I ever see you. I feel you and hear you. I've seen you, right? Before I ever see them and hear them, I feel them, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. So, hey, I got a present for you. I don't know. This is just a suggestion to everybody listening, but this was a beautiful experience for me. And I can't say enough about it. So, if I urge you all to go do this. But if you haven't, that new Bob Marley movie, One Love, phenomenal. Phenomenal. In fact, this is what I wrote about it. I said, One Love was an immersive experience. This is not just a film, a movie. This is a musical experience that pulls upon the deepest places in your heart space and soothes all the past and present aches from the journey with a balm of blessing and peace. True expression of love. So, for real, y'all, do yourself a favor. Go smoke something real good. Go in and just take
Are you
that
gonna
movie
write
in.
my eulogy when I finally expire from overeating pizza and pasta? Could you do my
Well,
eulogy, please? I would
sure.
have Jack Talcott or Slow State or someone else do it, but they're bound to insult me even while I'm dead. So
I
I
would.
figure, you have a way with words.
Well, thank you, brother. It'd be
You
an
have a
honor, but
grace about you, it seems. So
it didn't come overnight. And I mean, all glory to the Most High. I'm just trying to be me, man. I'm just trying to be the authentic ragamuffin that is myself, and just make this world a better place in spite of all the fucked up shit. But yeah,
now let
man,
me ask you a similar idea in a different vein of questioning. You get pussy with this personality or what? Like, how well does this work for you?
Well, now
Because I mean, I got a lot of folks on here who claim to be ladies' men and claim to be doing real well, and I figure if they just become more like you, right? I'm not saying you're inauthentic. I'm saying they are, and if they could just become more like you, if this actually works, I want to tell them about it. So, your thoughts?
Well, let me address that. So, this confidence that I exude, that I have, was given to me, and I've taken hold of it. As far as that, what you just described, I don't have any interest in that way right now because of my
you're one of those.
experience.
He's a little. This guy's a little.
No,
like,
hold up.
Like Foghorn Leghorn said.
No,
to the kid who did math and played the violin.
I'm content with the waiting for the right person because of the past experiences I've had. Scott, bro, I had.
What do you think he's gonna look like?
What do I think she's gonna look like?
No, he's gonna look like.
What? Oh, he's gonna look like. I see.
Will he be Jack Talcadian?
No, it's one of those things, man,
on a white horse.
When you listen to me, when you have,
I'm teasing you, rag him up. Come on,
but I'm just trying to make a point. When you link up with somebody, right? You plan on getting marriage, and then you have a child, and you go through some craziness where the child passes away. It really does a lot to you. It starts to make you see the idea of sex as a sacred thing, where you don't just want to go and do that. Like, in fact, I want to store up all of that energy and not just go fap and knock it out. You don't understand what I'm saying? There's power behind that. That's inside of us for a reason. People don't realize that. They want to use these things willy-nilly. I am very content right now being in my own energy, being by myself, doing my own thing with the interactions that I have when I have them.
Now you're telling me, this is where you lose me. You're telling me that slow state and that woman over there is a sacred act. There's nothing sacred about that energy, that presentment, that
I don't have to. I'm not going to speculate on someone else's relationship. That's not my place to do so. I'm telling you for myself. You asked the question, how are you doing about getting pussy or whatever? But I don't view things that way. For me, I'm not going to tolerate any woman's energy that isn't where she needs to be as far as where I'm at. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean,
we're not even you're a union like that until that were to be a thing.
You're getting a little Aaron Gauchi on me there for a second. Now you're reeling it back in, right? Like, yeah, I'm in alignment. I'm on my purpose and meaning, and I'm not going to co-create with anything that's not in my and their essentially highest good or benefit. So
yeah, I mean, bro, the old me.
I'm in alignment with that. I accept that.
I used to do Tinder. I did the dating sites. I was a man about town, but I got tired of that. I got tired of having what really wasn't for me. And I
totally agree. I went on Tinder and I only ever matched with transsexuals. So you make of that what you will.
Nice.
Well, maybe the universe was talking to me. I don't know what was going on there. I go, why is it all these women who are matching with me look like me in a wig? This is not. Yeah, that was not a good barometer of my options at the time. It might have been my profile, right? My description.
Well, my story is kind of like the Beastie Boys, right? My early days was my punk rock years, and that's kind of when I sowed those wild oats, right? And then as I went through my awakening, I got brought into the beautiful world of hip hop and reggae. Reggae was my father's way of a musical arrangement to send me home with, to bring peace.
I think you stumbled upon something here. I did the awakening part without the wild oat part. I did Hall and Oates instead of Wild Oats. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still got some living to do. Some liberty, as the Rastafari would say. Dude, you want to come here with fucking... I'm going to put you in your place right now, okay? You want to come here with Bob Marley and talk about one love and immersive experience and all the rest of it? Did you forget that Bob Marley's last experience, he had about 8 bitches around him? You forgot that, didn't you? You forgot that Bob Marley's got about five baby mamas with like 8 kids. Are you sure about that? Bitches. Do I have to pull this up? One Love, 5 Bitches. That was the last album. You didn't. That one was never cut, right? You never. I got the background script to that, but I could go. Do I need to pull up the interview with 5 baby mamas talking about Bob Marley fucking everything in sight and being the most loving, caring, and real, authentic motherfucker on a movement they've ever seen?
Even if that's so, he did change many things, even in his imperfection.
Right.
So,
right. But again, I contend that you could be the most loving, caring, blah, 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 as Snafu Snap says, centered, balanced, successful man. A man is still a man, and he has primal instincts and urges that are there for a reason.
Yeah, they are.
Is it possible that Bob Marley's best music came from fucking 5 bitches because it was the most inspiring, empowering, sensual, co-creative experience?
Possible.
It's not okay.
No, because where did he channel his original energy from? He didn't channel it from a
I didn't say that. I didn't say it's. I didn't say it's all rooted in that. I said, could it be possible that some of the spark of inspiration at times was the pain, was the joy, was the expansion, the contraction, all things. Has to be all things.
Okay,
has to be an authentic, firsthand felt experience to be a true artist. You can't cut off aspects of self and not experience and express authentically completely. That's the antithesis of what a creative artistic personality is about. And it's the antithesis of what an alpha male and a successful man is about, if you really want to get down to it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm very I have to call it really straight and to the point with what I see within without upholding and celebrating or demonizing. Like, I just have to call it what it is. A man is just a man. The best part about being a man is made in the image of the Most High and the Most Low.
Right.
That's what makes this experience what it is completely. Well, we don't have to project some religious dogma onto that in order to understand ourselves and make a religious sort of correlation in the sense of religion just meaning reunifying self.
Oh, and I'm not saying everything has to be in the traditional sense. You're not going to see me saying that I have to have some wife and we're going to go do the Saturnalia ring thing and it's going to look like this and I just, I'm just about a union. You know what I'm saying? Being with somebody for a while, putting forth effort, both contributing, it not being in any type of weird selfish thing. But
the truest union is not monogamous. The truest union is polyamorous. It's love for self that extends to all beings who you find yourself called back to work with, to experience with, to share all things with. That's a community. That's communing. But I contend that the modern day world and relationships and monogamy is the antithesis of that for a reason. That's what the system gave you. That's what they want you to live.
Yeah, in spite of what you see with Marley, though, I still he's a notable character.
I'm just keeping it all the way funky, as they used to say in real, bro. What I know to me as a man from top to bottom. Do you know how inspiring it is to see 3 women get on camera after a motherfucker was assassinated to praise him and sing his praises in a sense and talk about him like he was a leader and he was a movement within himself? So much so he could unite 3 women to be on the couch speaking about who and what he was and the impact that he had on them. Do you know how inspiring and empowering that is to young men from a primal state of beingness, whether you want to project evil onto that or not?
Right.
It is what it is, bro. You can call it rock star lifestyle, but that's kind of watering it down and demeaning it. That's making something out of it that it's not.
Well,
I'm talking about it from what it really is.
I just see that there's something so special about that act that it seems to even take from you when you do it. And so it's like, I don't know. I treat that as kind of, I'm not going to say it's right or wrong or whatever. I feel what you're saying. You feel what I'm saying on this. I'm not trying to be real dogmatic.
Absolutely. I'm not like discounting anything you said. I said, I accept what you say. And I'm in alignment with that. I just don't necessarily think it shows up the way it sounds like it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
And that's even a subjective determination. I'm going off what I've seen from other people in life and in this venue, how they react and respond to whatever narrative is put out and how it's interpreted and seemingly misunderstood at one time by myself and at this time by a majority of folks who I interact with. So that's the reason that I go back to over and over again this idea of monogamy versus polyamory, because I think supernaturally we're meant to be, like you say, one self, one love. And that doesn't look like only one. That looks like everyone who's meant to be there. Right? Like the Tao says, 1 gives birth to 2, 2 gives birth to 3, 3 gives birth to all things. You're going to see that pattern in everything. And if you watch folks who live into polyamory gracefully, with honor, with an open mind and heart, and working with their intuition and their nature, you come to find out that they become more loving people. They're not culted up. They're more loving. They're more understanding. They're more accepting. They're more communicative and functional in their communication. They're more authentic and real. And they're allowing of a man to be a man, right? And a woman to be a woman, if we can understand what that is, how it looks, how it shows up, how it interacts with one another. And that's something I think we're sorely lacking, while the shades of the subconscious permeate the experience of the traditional experience, right? While we see folks out and about watching porn, cheating, getting hookers, all the mainline media, right from the subconscious mind, because there is an itch that can't be scratched until you embody a certain state of beingness that then gives way to what you're supernaturally meant to be. And guess what? If you take away all the comforts and the pretty updressing of society and culture, it looks a lot like the animals a lot of the time, from what I can deduce. It looks like pissing and shitting in a hole in the forest. It looks like running about the mountainside at times. If you're not hunting and fishing, it looks like being in the garden and doing agriculture, in the sense of working with your environment or being in harmony with your environment. See, the animals can seek that and forage. We can seek and forage too. A lot of the original cultures still keep the seeking and foraging behavior. They live as the animals do, not in separation from them. They live as a consciousness and awareness with them, in co-creation with them. Therefore, they observe them and they see the similarities before they see the differences. And I've started to take on more of that state of consciousness, being out in the woods, starting to see how the main problem of human society at this point is we've become animalistic in a negative sense, right? By not completely harmonizing our humanness, which has an animal component to it, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. We are in disharmony because we have not reconciled the spiritual and the physical, right? The consciousness and awareness and conscience-based aspect to the animalistic component that is the human experience. Because it would seem to me we are a little bit of this and that. We're not this or that. So this or that creates a war within self. And it looks like acting out with sublimations to me, right? The pornography, the drugs and the alcohol, the rest of it. The promiscuity. Because somewhere in the middle between the, radical conformism and then what looks to be the shaitan of this world, the culture and society of rock star lifestyle, right down the middle is the way to the way, as far as I'm concerned. And it's precisely because we vacillate from one extreme to the other that we cannot find the way to understanding self as self. So, yeah, I don't know if any of that makes sense. The way I'm communicating it, it's a bit harder to language it out than it is to have the experience.
It makes
but
perfect
such
sense
is,
to
I
me
guess, the
because of-
task.
It's making perfect sense to me, my brother, just because of the work I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that the most authentic experience between a man and woman is almost the immediate recognition of the animalistic component of self, so that we can have a bit of humor with this experience. We can have a bit of grounding component, so to speak. See, the lowest to me doesn't necessarily mean the least. It may be the most necessary. The grounding component. Listen, we're a body first and foremost in this realm. We got hair on it. We might be part animal. Right? That ain't a negative thing. That's a grounding aspect of self, right? That makes the experience a bit more interesting and a bit more predictable, right? As much as we like to pretend it's not, everything is so shocking and disturbing. It's pretty predictable what human beings are going to do on the lowest level as animals, so to speak, right? And again, when did this characterization of animals become deviant? When from the beginning of time, the original cultures talk about spirit animals and understanding aspects of self the way we understand the animal consciousness. I mean, this is in the scripture, be like a dove, be like a serpent. What the fuck is that? We're right back to the grounding aspect of consciousness, where they're going to use animal consciousness in order to reveal to you the different aspects of your beingness and how they all work together to produce a result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being hyper, this hypersensitive language where we make everything immediately bad or good, right? Everything's good or evil immediately. It's like we can't achieve a true understanding if everything has to be seen through the lens of good and evil. That's why I believe the Tao says in order to achieve understanding, you have to go beyond good and evil. Right away, your pogo, meter goes off like snafu. Oh my God, this is a devilish text. See, you just did it right there. You won't even take in the new information of the Tao because your feeler alarm went off. This must be a pogo shaitan text because it tells you stop viewing everything through the lens of good and evil.
Well, and in fact, that narrow path Christ talks about is that what you're discussing. It's actually being the observer between the two and choosing within yourself in your own discernment what you accept. Now, the reason they don't want to hear this is because they hold on to the 66 book canon given to them by the Vatican and the Sanhedrin. That's how the fuck they got that book.
Well, there you go. And I mean, again, this conceptualization of a neutrality space is shown in the imagery of the triune God. Right? You have your positive aspect of beingness, your negative, just like systems dynamics, positive terminal, negative terminal, and then you have your grounding component, which ironically is usually, as I understand it, I'm not far from an expert. I have a limited understanding of electrical components, but I'm pretty sure the grounding wire comes off the negative terminal. So you don't ground yourself from the positive side. You ground yourself from the negative side, even in electrical components and systems dynamics, which I contend are a replication of self, because everything we see out there is originally right here, one way or the other, right? So for all the folks who want to talk about radical positivity, you missed the mark. You don't understand systems dynamics in the world or in yourself. The negative terminal is the grounding component. All the shit you don't want to look at and don't want to understand is where you're going to ground yourself into a reality that is more real than the world you've been living in inside your head.
The negative resistance produces the positive. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever even thought about that before, bro, with that.
Most people don't think about it's not what you think, it's the way you think. If you change the way you think and remove what you think, you'll start to see the world in a whole new way and how it all works.
Yeah. Yeah.
From a programmer's perspective, the creator of this universe is a programmer, essentially. It's the original programmer.
Ones and zeros.
That's it. Matrix gave you the whole game.
For the listeners, I'm not blasting the Bible. I'm simply saying that.
Oh, fuck them. No. They can suck my dick. No, all you fake ass Christians. No. I'm going to do it for you. This guy's a nice guy. I'm not. All you fake ass Christians can suck my dick for Eucharist this Sunday. I'm gonna be at the fucking I don't do comedy routines of venues like Brian O'Shea. I go to confessional box. So I'm gonna be at your local confessional box where they're fucking little boys, and I'm gonna have you suck my dick as grown adults. That should be okay, right? If it's okay for your fake ass religious leaders to fuck little boys, it should be okay for me to become a pastor and show up at the confessional like a glory hole, and you to suck my dick as grown adults who don't want to perceive of life on life's terms. See, that works, right? That was a bit non-bit. You like that? Not everyone likes those, right? Not everyone's a fan of those. I'm into that. Oh, I'm the king of cringe, right? I'm the king of cringe. I've already cemented my legacy one way or the other. Wherever it goes remains to be seen.
What was that one movie where somebody brings out the acid and the guy's like, "I'll do it." It's like Will Ferrell. That's what you remind me of when it's like, well, maybe this shouldn't be said. And here comes Paul. I'll do it.
Absolutely, bro. Give me the gun. Right, they go, we can't find. I go, did you talk to me? I'm all too willing to take the metaphorical, metaphysical gun and do the dirty work that the rest of these punk ass cowards don't want to do. Right? That's the difference. I've been in situations, bro, where I embody that most loving, caring, faithful state. You know who my greatest ally was in certain moments? A motherfucker who stepped up and said, I'll do anything to this motherfucker in front of you right now. Just give me the word. And I couldn't believe it. And then I had to realize it wasn't about that, right? That's the same experience a Christ of being would go through. I'm feeling like a bitch. I'm feeling like my ego's being crushed. I'm just trying to get back to not having any problems. And then someone next to me who's all too willing to do the dirty work said, I'll do whatever the fuck needs to be done to stop this corruption right now. Because that's what it is. Some corrupt tyrant who wanted to take advantage of my loving, caring nature, who thought that they were going to push me around. And that person next to me already probably knew that if I got angry enough, we're both going to be sorry. And rather than them see me get out of character and maintain my loving and caring nature, they were used to doing dirty work and have no problem going into that mode. You know, that's a different level of co-creational power. And that can scare you. Right. And then you have to remind self and then that self and then the other self, we're not here for that. right? Like Mr. Talcott says, these are our brothers and sisters. We're not here to do war on ourselves and our brothers and sisters. That's been our problem, right? So again, when I talk about those experiences, I'm not talking about it from an egotistical, prideful perspective. Oh, look at what I am and what I've done and who's going to do what. I don't think there's any place for that. Right. But all too often in this world, from the beginning of time, that has been the resort, because what did John Kennedy say shortly before they blew his fucking brains out? Those who make peaceful resolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable. We've experienced that on these panels. Only because I disconnect from certain folks and forgive them and love them as they're meant to be, not as they present on here, am I able to move forward and not access that part of me that says something should be done to you. Right. So that's a practice that works for me and everybody else, I believe. But again, like we spoke about earlier, there's probably going to come a time. I'm not talking about with me and these people on here. I hopefully, and from what I see, it'll never get to that, and I would never take it there. But it seems in life at times there's going to come a time when folks are going to have to put up or shut up. Right. Yeah, and we see that regularly in life. Like Snafu's very traumatized, probably because he went to prison for 3 years, 5 years, whatever it was, for blowing up hash warehouse with hash, trying to make hash. And when he was in prison, he saw a whole bunch of motherfuckers get their head cracked. And we can talk that love and faith and care shit all day long and uniting with that force. There's some deviants out there who want nothing more than to see folks bleed and suffer.
Yep.
So again, scary dynamic, a lot to confront, a cause for pause and reflection and introspection. And then a decision has to be made, not now, but in those moments. And that's the most difficult thing, right? Seemingly.
Yeah, and it brings up some interesting things. It's like I was on Machine Lies last night. He had Sovereign Soul on there talking about the sovereign type of stuff. And, and then we take someone like Snafu that's been through his experience, right? I get it. Like, I'm not even saying I push the barriers as much as I possibly could, but I've rolled the dice before with expired tags or whatever, and even been told by God, don't worry about it right now. I'm like, what do you mean don't worry about it? I had this one year, I had expired tags, I was short on money. And I prayed about it, and I heard, don't worry about it. I was like, what do you mean, don't worry about it? It freaked me out. I was like, I can't write around like that. And I heard, yeah, you can. And I was like, well, then I need a confirmation. I freaking get up to the DMV. I'm like, I'm going in. I'm just going to do it. I had what money I had. I was going to do it. I stand in line. 10 minutes into the line, the lady announces, I'm so sorry, but all of our machines went down statewide. And I was like, what? Statewide? I was like, when are they going to come back on? She's like, I don't know, sir. This has never happened before. I was like, fuck yeah. I was all excited. I was like, fuck yeah. And so I put it back in the glove compartment. Some months went by, and then I got a little nudge. Now go do it. And so, but bro, I get it. Like hearing what you just shared with Snafu, right? Like, what are we going to rock the boat? I'm not going to rock the boat with an officer if they pull me over and say all this shit. I'm not doing that, right? I get it. And is there full truth to some of that and what Wizard's looking into? I don't know. Like, I haven't seen someone.
Right, and that's the thing, right? When you take it to that level of rights, freedom, true self-care, and supernatural or universal law, which nobody has a right to do harm to you, and it doesn't mean you do violence back to them. Quite the opposite. But again, how many of these folks who talk this righteous Christian shit about Jesus aren't living like Jesus because their little heart and their balls ain't up to the consequences?
Right.
Of potentially living that way. So really, how much is your heart in this? Really, how righteous are you? And really, how much can we claim to walk and live in true faith when your faith only extends so far and not any further? I mean, if true faith, true care should extend to the point where you're willing to put your life on the line right now, today. Bro, when I travel around in that vehicle, as they say, that vehicle, I just presume that my life's on the line. I just presume I could die today. If you've never like they used to do, put on your guns and get on your horse and ride off into the sunset knowing it could be your last fucking day, you haven't been a man yet.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it on some level.
Yeah.
So we could talk DMV and we could talk breaking up with our sweetie pie and all the rest of it. Till you put yourself on the line regularly to ride into the sunset and potentially not come home, I don't think that anybody has an ability to talk on this subject of true faith.
I
that faith only extends so far. And to be honest with you, them walls of that prison that you call faith don't extend that far. Yeah, I could reach out and touch it at any time.
Like I've seen people get the debts revoked and things of that nature, but as far as gaining access to like a an account that's theirs and all that type of thing. I don't know. I'm not. It's all been hearsay. It's been going around. This is something I've been hearing about since like 2018 or so, since I first got on Discord and you know got involved in some things. So I don't know. I'm willing to.
Yeah,
I'm
an uncomfortable
definitely.
realization is that the Christ of being in Scripture wouldn't have got on the horse and then considered whether he was going to travel freely or not, because the Roman or whoever. I always say Roman, but I don't think that it's Middle Eastern, which is I'm terrible with geography. Like if I start talking geography, people are going to immediately go, "This guy's retarded." Um, but to
No, I
me,
know what you're
again,
saying.
it's all the same shit to me, right?
Yeah,
Is really the point. I don't even bother to know the accuracy, which again demeans from my argument, some might say. I don't even bother to get the historicity straight when it comes to the geography or even a lot of the names and positions, because it's all the same duality and dynamics to me.
yeah,
I don't even need to know that, because I look out here and see all the same shit they're talking about there. I could just look right here and tell you better than looking to what they told me about then, because it's
yeah,
same.
yep,
So you think that being's going to get on the horse and figure out who the false authorities of their time is going to allow them to do what they're going to do as a man driven by the force of creation? Absolutely not. They're going to laugh at you, and they're going to say everyone else who thinks that this is acceptable and wants to demean me for what should be common sense understood as a man, you are cowards and infidels. It's the same spirit our founders, quote unquote, our founders had, supposedly, theoretically, on paper, if nothing else.
yeah,
It's the spirit of I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do and what I
right,
need to do. And
yeah,
nobody who stands in the way of that is legitimate. And if you don't walk that line and toe that line, you're a motherfucking slave and you're a coward, and a coward dies 1,000 deaths. An authentic man dies only but once. That is a spiritual, archetypal, physical experience. And until you've had that or touched that, you don't know what it means to truly live. You are dead already. And that's why many of these folks show up day after day the way they do, because they don't understand metaphysically, metaphorically, they are dead already.
yeah. Dead entities.
Never
Yep.
touched the space of truly living outside the bounds of the prison they were born in.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't
Yep.
think there's a feeling space component to that state of beingness, I'll tell you firsthand there is. It's the only thing that keeps people doing what's right over and over again while they keep getting persecuted and assailed. There's no high like truly living. You ain't going to get it from weed, dope, coke, none of it. There's no high and there's no inspiration like truly living outside the boundaries of the metaphysical, metaphorical, or physical prison you are born in.
And
If you accept that fate, you are dead already. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I'll take it a step further, but not just living, but living in one's purpose. Yes. Yeah. Because
That's the only way to live.
yeah.
If you're not living in purpose, you're living in seeking pleasure. And we know that seeking pleasure leads only to emptiness and, of course, suffering at some point.
Yep.
Because what is most pleasurable at high doses is also the most toxifying.
Absolutely.
We know that on the physical and metaphysical level.
I got to jump, man. I'm going to run some errands. I enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
I appreciate you, Ragamuffin.
I appreciate you. I'll be around here and there.
My little... All right, get the hell out of here. Come back whenever, man. I usually enjoy speaking with you.
Word.
Penal Fluffer is here now. What's going on, Sean? How you doing?
I'll be honest, I just got back. I was busy doing some stuff. I kind of was in and out hearing what was going on the last like 30, 40, 30, 35 minutes, something like that. So I missed some parts, but yeah, good to see Mr. Ragamuffin up. Oh, and now Christos is gone.
What's up with your algorithm lately, bro? Algorithm's been mean to you and me lately, huh? Let's bond a little bit in our trauma and our victimhood.
Nothing new.
Fucking algo is so mean to us, bro. He's trying to say that you're not as good as Joe Rogan. Look, you're way better than Joe Rogan.
I wanted to get to that actually, and I'm glad you brought it back up, because are we really going to sit here and pretend like Cat is not most likely? I mean, not just in the club, but high up in the club.
There's no way. You regularly just project things onto the world that I have no business in entertaining. You just might be way more conscious and aware than I am. I'm sure that's the story you tell yourself nightly.
Not
But
necessarily.
I don't know that to be true or untrue. So, well, you say, how are we not going to act like? Why? Well, could I get some reasons? If you're going to tell me because he has a voice or some platform somewhere sometimes, or because he has money. That's precisely what I thought. So you didn't know right now. You were just muted, and that's better because whatever the fuck you just said probably had little to no value or application. So
I basically
I'm
said, how
tired
about
of
because
every single person who, like Steve Martin, gets that rap. What's the odds Steve Martin's not high level Illuminati? Because he's at court all the time, because he's not kneeling, because he's on here with me, supporting me and what I do. And it's obvious when we speak that we resonate on certain levels. So, what is it you and Snafu and others see in everybody that I see in some folks, but in other folks, something potentially quite different?
well, what I had said when I was muted
Like
was,
the guy who the last like 2 months has been nothing but him getting millions of views. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. It's my broadcast, brother. See how I pull that card like your boy whenever I need it, as if as if it legitimizes anything, right? As if it makes anything right or wrong. Look at you. You're all over the place. This is how you would do an interview, right? There you go. Just be extremely passive aggressive and use whatever tool you have to impede my forward momentum.
seriously, what I said when I was muted, which is strange because I unmuted myself to talk and then I was muted. So just more games right after we're talking about games with these fucking platforms. Anyway, I get it. Try before you even say it. Why are you still using StreamYard? It's an interloper. Why don't you use OBS? I get it.
Here we go. OBS, original bullshit. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
all
all
I
crap,
said was
bro.
you don't
I
get on
tried,
Joe
bro.
Rogan.
I went to that OBS shit. You got to be a computer programmer to fucking do this shit, and it's so lacking in intuitive presentment. Like you try to use OBS and you got to put codes in and go through lists of shit, and it takes fucking 45 minutes to an hour at least of studying this fucking platform you're using. And then another 45 minutes an hour of setting shit up and programming the goddamn thing just to have your face up there and a stupid little thing that drops coins when someone donates. Give me a fucking break. StreamYard is amazing when it comes to intuitive the using of it intuitively, right? Just the way that the platform is.
YouTube fetamine driven meta betaverse, some might say.
Yeah, whatever. How did you get me off what the fuck we were saying?
Cat Williams, all right? You don't get on Joe Rogan unless you're scheduled to get on Joe Rogan by the
Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. So the CIA is directly on Joe Rogan's text. He's talking directly to CIA. I think you went a bit over the line.
Have you seen that old clip of Joe when he's like, Mr. Toe Rogan, when he's like, man, if the CIA or
come on, bro, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. See, this is what you failures don't understand about inherent hierarchical power and value dynamics. See, you haven't learned about yourself yet, so you can't speak on other selves in those positions. When you're hot and you're getting millions of views in a hole somewhere, the big guys got to have you on. That's what you don't get, because it becomes the will of the people and God. So when motherfuckers, I was one of them, were found in places that were uncharacteristic, that they never been before or since, a lot of time, there's a good chance that they're united with some level of what you call God and the truth and the people, right? Because that's the nature, if nothing else, that's the nature of corporatism. Whatever's hot has to get play. If not, someone else gets the exclusive and gets the credit. So Joe Rogan could be CIA all day. He could have Anderson Cooper sucking him below the table, who you'll tell me is also CIA. That doesn't change that if Cat Williams is hot and got something to say and he's pulling millions of views in a hole, Joe Rogan's going to swoop him up to get the exclusive and to get the credit for whatever the content is going to be, which is Cat Williams. Right.
It's
And
possible.
guess
It's
what Cat
possible.
Williams is going to
It's
hello,
possible.
hello. Guess what Cat Williams is going to do? He's going to reverse pimp on everybody. The same thing I would do. Absolutely, Ho Rogan. I'll take 10 million or $1 million to show up at your fucking shitty studio that smells like ass and do a broadcast and really put you in up on the game because you're probably a fucking white bread loser too. He's going to put him up on game. He's going to speak the truth to the people and his firsthand experience. He's going to walk away with a bag and he's going to get more promotion from the people who would have pimped on him if he was pimpable. See, this is what you don't understand about a different dynamic, right? A different type of person, a different type of animal, a different type of understanding, a different willingness to dance with the devil and then find a seat and tell the whole truth before and after. Don't count those type of people out. I'm not saying he is that. I don't know that motherfucker, and I'm not his defense attorney.
I don't either. I don't know.
I'm just saying stop projecting your lack of experience and understanding and application because you obviously have not looked at me as some level of mirror of what could be. If you don't think that I could be in one of these places at some point, if I marketed and promoted myself and got to a certain level of being hot again, through a viral video or a viral situation? Absolutely. And if you think these hoes who want to act like pimps, working for the pimps, aren't going to come out and give me access to a platform, if nothing else, to be with what's hot and to get the credibility, they will. And if you think I won't reverse pimp on them and walk away with a bag and tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth as far as I see it, before, during, and after, I absolutely will, because that's what the fuck my shit is built on. Without that, I don't have anything.
Yeah, I don't know, either way, ultimately. But I'm just saying, you got the
Nobody's
Shannon
above
Sharp,
money
Shannon
and power,
Sharp.
bro. Nobody's above money and power, bro. Inherent hierarchical values or worldly power and value systems. If you think that Ho Rogan won't take 10 million or 1 million or whatever his fucking going rate is, like Wes Watson, the Ho, and all the rest of them, if you think Paulie Boy couldn't take some of that seed money and put it back into jumping on with Wes Watson and doing a whole broadcast, right? And then and making it work and then turning around and telling the whole truth before, during, and after, it's absolutely a jump off point. I become the cringe gossip king again. It's not gossip. So you think that people don't do hits all day, every day, show up with a bag and leave with the goods? I'm buying into something bigger. So if I'm about truth and authenticity and I got no value or loyalties to any of these people, I'll burn them in a second for what's true and what's real. I'll show up with a bag. I'm buying my way in to something bigger when it comes to promotion and marketing. This is going to be a long game. I'll show up with 10,000. I'll get in the room with you. We'll do a fire broadcast. I'm going to clip it for my channel. It's never going to go away, even if you take it down. And then I'm going to go to exposing the shit out of you from what I experienced with you. You think that's not marketable? Are you kidding? You think that these people aren't so money hungry? They're not susceptible to their own Trojan horse undoing to someone who really wants to play on a different level? It goes on all the time, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking a little deep in the optics, but I feel like I get what you're saying, but at the same time, here's some pimping for you, right? Who did Cat Williams play oftentimes in many movies? What character?
Go ahead, you're gonna tell me.
A pimp. So who's to say he's not pimping on all the people who are looking for, you know what I mean, the authentic truth? And
who's to say you're doing it again? Who's to say he's not just a man of discernment who has heart and balls, who isn't self-made on some level, who did one original movie as a pimp and then got typecast, so he's done the rest of his career with a characterization wearing a hat? Why are you doing this?
Here's where the lack of context lies. No, see, this is the thing.
Your dysfunction's great because it allows me to help other people in their schizophrenic projections, but it's undoing to you because you presume the worst about everybody and you find one little piece of confirmation bias and you latch onto it and make it the bigger picture and story. When there's a way more worldly and practical common sense answer that could be provided anytime that would make way more sense than your nonsensical, objective, vast characterizations.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna bring up the times you had to wear a dress because that
So,
happens all
bro,
the
if
time.
so,
People do the
okay, so, bro,
humiliation rituals,
this is
and
what
then
you're
they
gonna do
come
to
out
me.
of it
You're
and they
gonna
go
be
to
the
speak
if I
out,
ever wind up doing something beyond what the fuck I've already done here, which is limited to many people
like
apparently.
wearing a dress.
You're right. I'm gonna wear a dress. Fuck you.
Okay, well then if you
Ever,
don't, then
if
I
I
have no
ever,
reason to call you out on it, man.
listen, bro. That's a whole nother story. If we get to me wearing the dress on camera, we can have that conversation. Just like Cat Williams. I don't remember him wearing the dress. I remember him saying he was one of the only ones who didn't put the dress on. So if I go and I try out right now for some new series where there's a white gorilla pimp who's somewhat kind of bizarre and whimsical and also a bit serious at times. If I go try out for that role and I nail that role and I become famous for that role, and every other role I get after that is as a white gorilla pimp who's those characterizations I gave, are you going to show up to me with this fucking narrative shitting on my name? Like the rest of the slaves online do, all the haters who ain't never done nothing and got to nothing and can't be nothing or create nothing or be known for anything. As if that motherfucker didn't take pimping is pimping before pimping and do a whole fucking reality show with it and do a whole fucking spin-off and a whole 10 series off of the idea of good game and observational understanding and situational awareness. Cat Williams, bro, where the
What
fuck have
show?
you been?
What
Oh my
show?
God, I'm so done with you. I'm so done with this kid. Someone come get him. Where's the hook?
I'm not.
I gotta
I'm
have a
not.
hook
You
guy.
know, I guess I'm not that deep in the culture, man. Look, I haven't even. That's
Right,
the
you
thing.
just
We both
talk
lack
shit
the
on people who
context.
you don't even know the
We
background
both
story.
lack the context. If I were to surmise that neither of us watched the interview, the last one, the Rogan one from what yesterday, or the day before, or the fucking Shannon Sharp one from a month or
No,
whatever.
that's not the argument, Craig Nice. I'm not saying he's not controlled opposition. I'm saying this kid shows up every day like Snafu and says someone is controlled opposition, definitely, because of little connections they want to make that don't necessarily have any correlation to what it might be.
Here's
So
my
he might
connection.
be, he might
Discernment.
not be. I'm just posing sensible perspectives and arguments to hit what I perceive as his objective nonsense at all places at all times in order to justify his meaningless existence at times. He has plenty of talent and ability that he doesn't use or apply, then wants to talk about other people who do and the dynamics of that experience as if he would know. Like I've had a peek into this world and I could tell you, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Just like Razvan wanted to say, I was a Holly weirdo because my father brought me at 12 years old to work with Robert De Niro as some extra, which I subsequently got thrown off the stage from. And he lost his mind, my father, because I, once again, ran my mouth and tried to tell the director what to do. And cut to my father behind the director going like this and me looking at him, tearing his hair out and losing his mind. So I got thrown the fuck out of there because I can't shut my fucking mouth and do what the fuck I'm told to do in any venue from the beginning of time. And it's been my greatest virtue and also my biggest downfall in the world because I probably would have been a successful actor or comedian or something like that. And I probably would have had a whole bunch more opportunities and I wouldn't have had to sell myself out if the heroin didn't kill me early in my career and I didn't wind up like Gary Coleman with my daddy taking all the money to buy extensions on the house. It's a potentiality that could have been fulfilled. I'm glad it didn't because doing this is way better and there's way more opportunity from this position I'm at now than where I was at then. Right? So I would have been somebody Sean would have been hating on because I wouldn't have been like from a broken home and confused and constantly being oppositional and belligerent like him and constantly getting myself kicked out of every venue because I couldn't focus and stay the course like him with me. So a lot of my understanding of self comes out of understanding of self, which applies to understanding of self when it comes to him and every other self. Because we all do the same shit and we all have a lot of the same talents and abilities. And we all could be a lot of the people or where a lot of the people are without being them or like them through our talent and ability if we would focus and apply ourselves and get away from all the negative Nancy nonsense that doesn't apply.
I'm just trying to be an ultra realist, you know. And again, I don't know ultimately. And to say to answer Cherie, you know, I to be fair, yeah, like I just said, I haven't watched either of the recent interviews, but I just remember there was a Netflix special he did, right? And he was before that, prior, like speaking out seemingly speaking out again, anti-NW, anti-Illuminati stuff, whatever, or just speaking out about it in general, the parties, all the gay, rap agenda, all that stuff, right? Then he comes back after, I think, supposedly getting like canceled because of a special or something, and then coming back with a special that was basically, I'm not in a toga, it's a wife beater. I'm about to put it on. Then
You
coming
gotta
back
have a
with a
wife to
special
beat
where
him.
he flipped the script. He was basically like on the opposite side. And so what it seemed like was that he was basically going to get left out in the dark, get canceled. And so he basically
This is
took
what
the
you
lead.
don't get, bro. When a motherfucker's got 10 or 20 million, it don't mean they're Illuminati. Just because you can't get 10 cents together doesn't mean somebody who's got 10 and 20 million dollars Illuminati.
No, you're missing what I'm saying.
Like
Though. You're missing the point.
this is why no, I'm done. I'm so done with this like just conversation from ignorance or lack of awareness and understanding.
It's more
Like,
of a
there's
lack
more
of
millionaires
context.
than there's more millionaires at this point than Walmart workers nationally. There's more millionaires than Walmart workers at this point. It's not even that hard to get to $1 million at this point if you really focus yourself and apply yourself to some endeavor. You took it as like a full-time endeavor. So,
All right, I'm dropping a link for someone.
You folks need to stop hating on hustlers, and you need to stop hating on folks with personality who got discernment, who make moves better than you. Because they turn nothing into something and something into something more. Right? You should just learn how to become that. The same way I've been learning how to become that as much as I have available to focus my time, energy, attention on. Because again, the same thing I just spoke about anybody is true for me first and foremost. I don't apply my shit as much as I could all around the board. And I know that if I did, that I'd have way more results. Test the difference. I know my ability. I know if I applied myself more, I'd have even more results than I have. I'm the type of person when I have what I need and a little bit extra, I'm good. That's my testament of humbleness and humility. I live within my means. Anything extra is a fucking blessing. I take it with grace. I'm thankful and grateful. I don't expect more. If I could do what I love to do that I'm good at, I have everything I need and then some. I'm living the dream from where I come from. I'd had to fucking, lie, cheat, steal, or go be a slave for 12 hours a day for $80. You remember who and what you are, where you come from. That shit'll keep you humble with humility, and that'll have you inspired and hungry to fulfill your purpose with meaning, to get value for yourself every day and start at zero in order to become something long term. That is the drive of a successful being. That is the story of a successful, co-creative, artistic being who cares about themselves and their walk and isn't willing to accept less for other people's weak ass bullshit lifestyles, living other people's vision. That is the entrepreneurial streak. You got to have that as a man at this point, especially. You got to have that. It's new normal. They're locking you down, telling you you're not essential. Is that real? Is that true? You will decide with your thoughts, emotions, actions, and what you've not done. You will decide if what they've said is true. Lockdown, bitch. You live in fear. You're not essential. Okay. Like they say, COVID was my downfall. My life was great before. Yeah, bullshit. You just weren't looking at where you were a weak ass slave. COVID showed who and what you were. It didn't define you. It didn't limit you. It showed who and what you were and what you've been. That's all it did. Right? Revealed your weakness. The same thing they'll tell me while they're whining and crying. It's successful business. No, you didn't. You had a successful slave operation with the state of, whether you knew it or not. And you wouldn't listen to me because you were making too much money, bitch ass slave, till they shut you down. And then I had to go to businesses around town and say, you want me to stand outside with a gun and keep guard and question anybody who wants to walk in there? And they all tell me, oh, no, we really appreciate that. No other man offered to do that. Right, because they're bitch ass slaves. You didn't think I was scared when I went with those propositions? No, I just maybe watched too many movies growing up or read too many books or hang around too many fucking low lives is what they would say. But my first understanding of how that goes is someone somewhere is trying to take this woman's business and livelihood. Well, it's our obligation to stand outside and get hit first, or to be a barrier to ask questions. Who are you and what are you doing here? What's your intentions? And if you're trying to destroy this woman's livelihood, then you gotta go. And if you don't leave, we're gonna have a conversation. That's how that's gonna go. So again, you're a new normal. You're a new world order on some level. and you're going to have to establish yourself inside and out. And that may look like certain things at certain times. And no, I'm not advocating for anybody to do anything that incorporates guns or violence or anything that makes anyone feel unsafe. Just saying, you got to be real, you got to be authentic, you got to be true to yourself, you got to stand up and step out, and you got to co-create something different, something better for yourself and potentially others than whatever the fuck else is out there, lukewarm and fence riding. Now's the time. 2020 was my biggest come up. That's what they all forget. When they're telling me their victim story, I'm staring back at them like this. Because I just realized before 2020 and COVID that I wasn't shit and was working on becoming something, whatever the fuck that means to me. Right? Regardless of what it means to anybody else, I was working on that, becoming aware of that, right? 2020 just revealed exactly where everyone was at. I was doing the work on me and trying to become something and make something while everyone was ignoring that for money and everything else they were playing with. And then reality hit, right? So guess what? The downfall for everybody else, the majority of these slaves who were already living a lie, was a come up for me because I was already living the truth they weren't aware of and didn't want to be aware of. You see how the script can be flipped? You see how perspective is a motherfucker? You see how actualization and realization is the only difference between somebody's manifestation, their results, and the experience they have, and others have of them or with them?
Yeah, not to indict myself, but back then I was, and this is probably where our beliefs at the time, at least, were different. But I definitely see more eye to eye with you on the matter of, protesting and that type of energy. But not that I was protesting. I was never going to any of those rallies or anything like that because I saw it for what it was. But I was doing my own thing, and without trying to indict myself, I guess I'll just say it like this: a guy who looked just like me would be at those testing centers and those fucking the pharmacies, the testing centers. So this was shortly before the Men in Black were at the door, showed up at the door one day. But yeah, the testing centers, the sites where they were given the treatments, and the pharmacies. And I would be telling people in their cars, I'd be passing out flyers and stuff with the information, with the factoids, and I was someone who looked just like me was getting people to turn around, obviously, but the majority of people were set in their ways and just didn't want to even bother looking at, because if they started to go down that hole, starting to reading the factoids about what the treatments were doing to people already at the time, and just the reality of the whole syndicate, the whole
Right. So
industry
you
itself.
saw once again a part that self was playing, who looked like you, which on the highest level was you, on the lowest level is not you, because your choices, your perspective, your understanding, your will were different. That's the only separation. Because you know your position at that time, unless you want to just be an observer, you have that right. You absolutely have a right to go through life as a passive observer. And then at certain points, it occurs to you that maybe you should take a stand or take an obligation or develop some responsibility. That's what we all seem to learn on this path. If not, you go through your whole life as a passive observer and you sit there one day and say, what was it all for? I was an empty shell of who and what I could have been and done. Wasted everything. You'd almost rather wind up dead young or in a prison than to not live fully and just accept less for yourself and live this mediocre, lukewarm life that is torturous over time. These folks are in quiet desperation, living a life of mediocrity. I don't see anything else. On the whole, with the public, I don't see much of anything else. Maybe that's just my grandiose characterization of self that spills over onto them and my narcissistic will. I'll give you whatever the fuck you want and need. That's going to be your characterization of me. That's not my characterization of myself. And that hasn't been my results. And that's not what's apparent to my heart. And I believe that the creational force, if nothing else, judges the heart. I got to get my Vanna White, okay? Waxman, what's going on, bro?
Hey, what's
Cut out.
Hello?
Hey,
Waxman?
brother, how's it growing? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can I see you?
Not right now. Fucking, this is a picture of me I put up. Shit, and
You're not going to do nothing
I'm really
crazy?
grooving with what you. Nah, dog. I'm just
All right.
listening. You saying I agree 100% what you say about you gotta cut out your own your own path. You know that the world is now changing. Now is a good time for you to kind of harness the new ground for yourself out here. Make some money for yourself, set a new path in for yourself. And
Now I'm guessing you're kind bud dank nug from my chat a minute ago.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Sean just wanted to make sure that he got credit that this person came from his channel.
Fuck yeah, no, I've seen a couple of his things before out here, but I haven't seen much of you, and I'm really digging what you're saying. Fucking
Right. Now, just
saying
quick
shit.
question, because I mean, we want to kind of know what channel you came from. So I got a question of my own. Who are you bigger fan of, in quotes? Because I really don't like fanatical people, but who do you think brings more energy, more empowerment, more inspiration, more artistic ability, more co-creative endeavor to this platform? I or Sean, the channel you came from? Your thoughts?
I think Sean, because like he's not up here just kind of he's not just up here bragging about all these things that are like fucking to 3 people on he's not just tooting his own horn to 2 people on YouTube, and I'm like one of them, so that's just kind of weird.
You're saying me. I'm not doing that.
No, you're the one that's guilty of it. I really dig what you're saying, though. It's all love. It's just
I'm guilty of that. No, Sean's the guy with 2 live viewers. I have at least 100 to 150 live and at least 1,000 after the fact.
When you're forced to be on a third channel, man, it's kind of what happens. And I had 7.
Oh, we're doing the third channel thing. Did you forget this was my second channel? And did you forget the first one had 20,000 with a shadow banning component?
Don't try to big dog Sean over here, man. Come on.
I
don't have to big dog him. That's the point. That's the point. Is that he wants to play these passive aggressive subliminal games. I thought so. He does that, right? He does that. You don't act like he does that. Think so. Where did you come from? And I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that you're one of the 2 people that was in my live chat just before, because I've never seen you here before. Is that true? Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was that? A lot of you missed that. Acting federal, dog. You acting federal out here.
No. Okay, all right.
You are. You say now you're deflecting. Now you're deflecting.
I don't even converse with folks from the Penile Power Fluffer podcast area because they just don't get it. Right? This might not be the place for you. Go back over there. Go back over there.
Federal.
Bro, I might go federal. I might wind up in federal prison, but I'm far from federal.
All this talking you're doing, man. You'll get nice sandwiches and little fucking warm teas and coffee.
Is that how that works? Because I'm ratting and snitching over here. Because I'm ratting and snitching, from a criminal perspective. I'm talking about dynamics we experience.
All right, I'll just finish. Right. Now, from my point of view, right, is someone who's really out, putting in work and really trying to build better shit for the people around me. I wouldn't sit up here on the thing just fucking trying to toot my own horn and sound like a big man talking to this one dude, because it seems like you're not really having a conversation.
Now, do you realize you do realize that I am the god of all media, right?
God of all media.
That sounds like a faggy thing to say, bro. You call yourself the god of media.
You're bringing. Wait a second. You're bringing homosexuality into a conversation about spirituality. You might have something to tell us.
Not homosexuality.
You got gay sex on the mind?
It's not about being gay, bro. It's just you're kind of being a faggot. It's not about like if you're sucking dick or not.
All right, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? So I'm the god of all media, and I'm
yeah, dude, you're the god of something. That's all right. Sure.
I don't understand. You got gay sex on the brain or what? You got something to tell us?
I called you a faggot, and now you're getting like hot and bothered and wanting to fucking talk about gay sex.
I'm hot and bothered? This is hot and bothered to you? I just been talking the same way for the last... That's weird. That's weird that you're... Are you like a really sensitive person by any chance?
I'm not sensitive at all,
You constantly look out and like have these... Do you constantly look out and get these like waves of feeling and emotion come over you like hot flashes? Almost like PMS? Just waves of emotion and like thoughts and beliefs about others. And then like, everyone's gay. Everyone's gay. He's gay. Everyone's gay.
I never called you gay. I called you I said you're acting like a faggot. You know, like,
what does that
like a
that mean
faggot.
exactly? I thought that was a homosexual.
Doesn't it mean a
I
cigarette?
guess.
Could you elaborate?
Just acting faggy, bro.
I'm acting faggy, bro.
I don't know if you can't read. If you got
Now wait
a
a
case
second.
of,
So
if you got
the
a case
guy
of
who
room reading-itis.
so and you're this guy? Is that you?
That's me, dog. This picture of me right
Okay.
there.
And so
Why,
this
what
is the
about it?
guy who's saying that I'm the former characterization he just gave. Okay.
Nigga, I'm out here toting guns and shit. You see that? You don't
Right,
even know
but you
nothing
look
about
like
that.
you look like Whoopi Goldberg
See,
if you were
now,
about 100 pounds lighter.
that's called the lowest, like the lowest thing when you start to talk about people. Look,
That's
I never
called me
talked about how
honestly
you look.
saying you look like Whoopi Goldberg, except she's heavier than you and could probably throw you around the room. So if she lost about 150 pounds.
Okay, finish. You can finish talking. All right.
Thank you for
Because,
letting me finish talking.
Well, no, obviously, it's like you need permission. Can you just sit here and fucking talk and talk and talk and don't let no one else get a fucking word? So go ahead and speak. Go ahead and speak and let me know when I can talk. Let me know. Let me know.
I'm going to do and say whatever the fuck I want, and you're not going to say or do anything about it unless I let you, because that's the power you have here and in the world with me, you bitch-ass motherfucker. How about that?
Well,
and
see,
since I'm such a faggot, if I ever do go federal and you find your bitch ass getting caught up with me on the internet in the cell with me, I might have to mount your pretty little Whoopi Goldberg looking ass because there'll be no other options around there. How's that for being a faggot?
That sounds pretty gay that you want to fuck another man, dude.
It sounds like your voice just changed. It sounds like you might be a little bit into that. Because see, now all of a sudden your voice switched up. Before you were real rah-rah about all that shit. Now all of a sudden it sounds like, See, that's what I like from a good bitch. I like when they get right back into that tonality that Aaron was talking about yesterday. When they show what they really are, what they're really about, right? So yeah, if I'm the faggot, I'm going to be the one 6'3", 280 mounting your bitch ass when I finally go federal on the internet while you want to accuse me of being a rat. Anything else? Because I'm getting kind of tired of you.
You just proved my point.
I'm getting kind of tired of you.
Turn me down.
I'm getting tired of you.
You're getting scared of me. That's why.
I'm scared of him. You're getting kind of scared of me. Do I look scared to you? You must get yourself in a lot of problems in life regularly if you looked at me and perceived that I was scared of you.
No, it's
you
how
must not have a great discernment.
You're getting very defensive.
No, there's no defensive. No, that wasn't defensive. That was offensive. See, you missed the point again. You must regularly get yourself in a whole lot of issues and trouble. Because I wasn't being defensive at all. I was offending you. I was being offensive. I was going on the offense. See? You were getting defensive when I said, if I'm the faggot, I'm going to mount your bitch ass. And you went, oh, well, we'll never see you. That's defensive. That's you. See how that works? You're regularly confused in life, aren't you?
That's weak sauce, bro. This is a very...
You're regularly confused about who's in the position of power and some level of status or who has the control in each situation. You're obviously regularly confused in life, like most weak-ass cowardly slaves are. They regularly think they're in power and in control. They're not. Right? They regularly miss that someone else is in power and control, and they wind up losing out or having some kind of consequence happen. See? We're learning something about consciousness and awareness here today. Your thoughts, Waxman? Anything else?
Oh, no, Mr. Powerful God, man. Yeah. You're weak, bro. That's just fucking kick me off. Yeah, control the conversation. Yeah, go ahead. Kick people off because you can't hear what they have to say. You just want to talk and flap off at the gums like a yag. You don't
Yes,
want to let no one else talk.
Yes, yep. I do.
Proving me right. I don't have to say anything else. I could say nothing else this whole time.
Yes, you could. You could actually just leave now, never come back, and nobody would ever remember who and what you are because there's nothing of substance or value. Right? So, yeah, you're absolutely right. You could just shut the fuck up now and leave, and it would be completely irrelevant and inconsequential because that is exactly who and what you are. Right? I got some reefer oil on my finger there. It's unsightly on camera.
See, bragging about smoking weed is like really faggy too. Like,
I wasn't bragging. I'm not bragging about smoking reefer. I'm not bragging about smoking reefer. I don't sit up here and talk about what weed I smoke and the percentages and walk around with weed shirts and weed gear. I'm far from, you see, you're missing the mark. You're making the wrong call. I just been smoking reefer for a long time, every single day, unless I'm in jail or in certain situations where it doesn't call for it. So for whether for good or bad, right? You could call it an addiction if you want. I pretty much been smoking 10, 15 blunts a day for decades at this point. So I don't brag about weed. There's nothing to brag about. It's something that I use for my own purposes. And you just ran from the back. There you go. You're back. Okay. I don't want to keep you back there too long. Might run off. I want you to be heard. You have a voice here. I don't silence black voices. I also don't silence black Whoopi Goldberg black voices. Yeah.
Bringing content today.
I don't know. I was kind of enjoying you talking. Like you're like just showing who you really
I know.
are.
That's what brought you here. That's what brought you here from the beginning. You were enjoying me talking, and then I went to do a bit non-bit and kind of play with Penile Power and his channel because I thought he was potentially playing with me. Maybe he wasn't, right? But I was just kind of, I was kind of doing something there that I do oftentimes, potentially inciting some feelers, and it worked. So you're the content. Congratulations. Come on down.
I just tuned in and seeing Mr. Potato Head ass fucking flapping off forever. Just
right.
fucking
How long did it take you? How long did it take you to sit there and think up Mr. Potato Head ass, which is like pretty old at this point? Would you just take the last 20 minutes to sit there and think of something that you thought would be clever and well timed? That almost went over. I'll give you some points for that. Anything else? You could have done better.
Bringing the content today, baby.
Like Chris Farley, John Candy. I've heard that before. That's slightly more funny, I think.
Wait, what?
The potato head thing is like they do that with everybody at middle school nowadays. Everybody's Mr. Potato Head. You could have got a little bit more precise and direct with that.
Maybe he
the kid from the Sandlot, Ham Porter. You could have went with that kid. I got that before back in the day when I didn't have facial hair. You look like the kid from the Sandlot, the fat kid with the freckles, Ham Porter, right?
Holy shit, man. Any thoughts on the on what we were talking about before, man? On the Cat Williams stuff? Is that maybe why you clicked the link possibly, or no?
Honestly, fucking, I don't even remember why I clicked the link for him. I'm honestly falling asleep after just hearing fucking this guy just flapping off at the gums, keep getting muted and all that. I don't really think there's a point in talking if I'm just gonna get kicked off if I start like developing a sentence. It's kind of retarded. You can tell he probably
it might take a while. I agree with you. You are kind of retarded. Syndrome. You are kind of retarded, and it might take a while for you to develop a sentence.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. I don't have all day, right? I do a limited broadcast. I'm already 10 minutes over, and I don't have another couple hours for you to develop a coherent sentence.
Yeah, man. I'll just tune off that you're fucking a crack smoking fag. That's about it. Like,
oh,
there on the same note I left in on.
Crack smoking fag. That's Illuma Tommy, and he's on at 8 p.m. So you might want to go over there. He's the crack smoking fag. I'm the white gorilla, right? Don't confuse the two. He's down there now in my chat, actually. Great stuff. He ran off. He can't handle the limited muting because I'm not interested in him scrambling for something that he thinks is cute and clever and inauthentic to who and what he really is. All right. So boring. You're boring. All right, go back to listening to me. You probably don't want to be a part of what I'm doing unless you become the content. That's always what gets you guys all excited. That's going to make your day, that little interaction. And that's what the folks come here for a lot of the time, right? So folks like you could become the content. So it works. It works until it doesn't, I guess. Whatever. What's going on, BH Dubs?
What's this fucking fag man doing? Calling you
what's this thing about potato heads, right? I mean, come on. You could probably speak for the official head of the Potato Head fan club, the official potato head of the head of the... You know what I'm saying.
That guy was one bitch ass hoe. One bitch ass
hole winker. Right. Now, if anyone looks like a potato head, it's you. That's where I was going with that last comment.
I caught it.
That's you.
Yeah.
You did. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't have to double down on that.
I have an addiction to food.
Well, we're relating.
But it hurt.
I have addiction to everything.
It hurt me to see this man attack your character like that, and he's a bitch ass motherfucker. Peace.
Right. Thank you, BH Dubs. BH Dubs on the hotline. On the ones and twos.
Well, I
Butthole
thought
Winker on the ones and twos.
yeah.
Can you get that fucking mic out of your mouth?
No, I have to talk in it in order for you to hear me. I've learned this over time. But what I thought was interesting, how was he talking shit about the weed thing? But his name's the Wax Man, and then his name in my chat was like Buds, Kind Buds, or something. So what's that about? Very strange.
Right. So I'm the fag who's bragging about weed when his whole name is I smoke weed. I have kind buds. I'm the Wax Man.
Well,
Was that
that's
not projection
he's also-
simulation 101?
To be fair, you're both fags, if I had to guess. So
Right. Okay. So now again, given the like option of me, you, and him, I'm the quote unquote faggiest guy in the room. It's not you who dresses up in rainbow outfits and regularly takes your shirt off on a panel of men.
I didn't take my shirt off. I had it off because I'd never put one on from when I got up.
It's not you who the last time you threw a rave, it was occupied by exclusively nothing but men.
Never threw a rave, though.
It's not him who is smiling ear to ear like Gary Coleman and looks like Whoopi Goldberg. It's me. I'm weed bragger. I'm fag guy now. What else am I? Let me know, Sean. Please help me out.
According to Tom, that's like in right now. So, I mean, considering everyone that he talks about is a fag. So, according to him. Right, Tom?
Is it possible he's projecting again? Because we've spoken about that there may be a percentage of bisexual component to the human experience. Is it possible you got a bunch of guys running around here who haven't reconciled that they're like anywhere from 2 to 5 to 8 to like 50 to 80% gay? You know, there's some level of like bisexual component in New World Order, in New Normal, if nothing else. Because as you say, the air's full of toxins and adjuvants. Allegedly. Is it possible that you got a bunch of guys who constantly say things like "you go, girl," which Tommy does, and "come get this work, honey child," and the rest of the shit he does on his panel where he makes his banner pink and then sits up there like he's on The View and just lisps for 5 hours straight while screaming from his emotions? Is it possible? Is all I'm asking. That Slow State, Aluma Tranny, and a lot of these other guys have some level of bisexual, if not completely homosexual component. The guys who you never see them with any other chicks, as your boy says. And the ones you do see him with, well, that's another story. It was a big transsexual. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Is it possible the guys who constantly make jokes about wanting shit up their ass every 5 to 10 minutes on panels full of men who wear earrings? Do I have to continue here? Oh, we've done this before, I think. I'm getting flashbacks of when we had this conversation in the past. We've had them all before, really. There really isn't a conversation we haven't had here yet. We're looping. We're officially looping. Go ahead, buckle your seatbelts, people. We're officially in looping orbit.
Oh yeah, another point. So I don't know why I tuned into a slight bit and even restreamed a slight bit there of a short bit last night of missing Stinky Stink, but had some interesting characters on there. Sovereign, Sov Dave, fucking Mr. Pie, but Grace Thorpe's dad going at it with Sov Dave was extremely interesting, and yeah, he Ben Thorpe is just a bona fide slave. He says a true man answers to men as rulers. It was fascinating to hear the uttered just nonsensical.
Right, and I've said something similar here before we take off. Okay, because we're clear for pullout, we're clear for takeoff. I've spoken on this before. The only problem is Ben Thorpe is not that guy. Right? Ben Thorpe is not that guy. So when he tries to go to a woman with that nonsense, she's going to laugh at him and keep it moving and go find someone who is that guy. right? Woman's not going to submit to an inauthentic corporate male who does more talking than they do walking, nor should they. So you could talk about an archetypal dynamic. Here for takeoff. 503 Peanut Power Fluffer out west. In 33. Yeah, we can talk about.
Ready for takeoff. Over.
Yeah, we can talk about those archetypal inherent hierarchical power and value dynamics. But there's really not much sense because the folks talking about it oftentimes aren't living it, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, go ahead.
Penile Power, do you have your flashlight for the flight? Penile Power has an official Delta flashlight that he, of course, uses from the cockpit. Keeps him focused. It's like one of those fidget spinners. All right, we have Tommy on the left wing. Yeah, we got him out on the left wing. We're gonna take off as soon as we can get Tommy off the left wing. He's hanging on to the left wing of the plane. We don't know why. Saying something about a cult, something about fuck you, Paul Unslaved. Someone get him off of there.
Did you hear me about the 119127 part?
Right.
I didn't know if I was muted.
Come on, Sean. I got to engage here. I got a clutch. I got a second clutch here. I don't even know what that pedal's for, man. No one ever taught me about that at the academy. I just don't use it. I just let it kind of sit there. We smoking weed on this flight or not? Are we? Of course we are. I'm the captain.
Oh, yeah.
See, they like when I joke like that. Sometimes I'll ask the stewardess, "Hey, we smoking weed on the flight?" As if she has anything to say about it, right?
Hey, do you think it's a bad idea to upload a short video of smoking weed in a plane bathroom?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. That's probably illegal.
Probably not a good idea. All right.
I mean, I would do it, but I wouldn't have you do it because you're probably not going to be able to stand at court on it. So that's why I can smoke weed on this flight and you can't.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. So.
You're not. I'll have you thrown out of here 3,000 to 5,000 feet.
Well, I'm going to do it in the bathroom and then put it in my brief.
Well, listen, if you do it back there, just like when you masturbate with that flashlight, I know that's why you have it. I know when you go back there, you smoke your yellow liquid, you beat your baby meat with that flashlight, and it gets you through the flight, right? So what I don't know, I really can't do anything about, but you're not going to do it where I can see it. That's the difference between me and you. I'm going to fuck the flashlight in public on this flight as the captain of this vessel, as a non-slave, and I'm going to smoke weed out in the open. You have to do it in shame and hiding in a closet-like enclosure. I don't know if I should let this old man take us out of here, right? I got to do the filming for the broadcast. I let this old man take over just to get us up in the air, but might not have been the best decision. I don't even know who he is. I just found him outside at the bus stop. I gave him the uniform.
Put your seats in the upright position and secure your tables as we are about to taxi and take off. Thank you for flying with God of All Media, and we appreciate you choosing us to get you to your destination.
Pino, you gonna give him the peanuts now or when we get in the air? I always forget. Because I'm kind of hungry, bro. I mean, can I get mine now? Oh, he's giving the announcement. Oh, continue with the announcement. I didn't know you were on the PA, man.
Enjoy your flight with Unslavia Airlines. Hope to see you again.
Right.
Just to be clear, I want the whole can of soda, okay? I am the pilot. I know this half can shit. Cup of ice. And I want the good peanuts, the honey roasted ones, not the plain ones. I don't know who eats those fucking things.
What's the deal with these airline peanuts, huh?
What's the deal with Jewish peanuts? They got no spice on them. All right, we're gonna take off shortly here. We got some traffic on the runway, it seems. So we're gonna pull around. We're gonna pull around. Emmanuel, what's going on, man?
Boom.
I didn't know
Ladies
you were
and
on this
gentlemen.
flight. Oh,
I'm on the flight, bro. I'm in the jump seat. Catching the red eye.
You red eye, Fred eye?
Just chilling.
all right.
Just chilling, man.
Illumitranny's down there. Is Illumitranny? Did he ever get into the plane? I know he was on the wing. Oh yeah, he just fell off.
He just made it through security.
Yeah, he fell off, and I don't know how it never kills him. He's fallen off the wing a few times, and it never kills him. He's never been really harmed.
Is checked.
What do you got, Emmanuel? What did you want to talk about, man? We got a couple minutes, couple minutes for a takeoff.
I'm just up here chilling, you know.
You ever seen a Captain Grubhub to a airport landing strip? If you haven't, you're going to see it today. What do you think this little window's for? I reach right at it, I grab my shit, and then we're off and running.
Good in-flight meal.
What
I'm
is
just
this
chilling,
last-
man. I'm just. Go ahead, Pino.
Nah, I just noticed OTW uploaded a clip. I was wondering what the hell it is. It looks like some weird short or something.
Yeah, he probably uploaded a video of his piss-smelling house.
Oh,
Listen,
did you
he
hear
just
about?
came out with a new series, Piss-Smelling Homes and Gardens. And he's probably
hear
been
Nathan?
featured. Hold on,
you hear
Pino.
Nathan?
We're taking off here. Shut up. You know I got to stay focused on this part. This is the hardest part. I could kill everyone right now. I'm really high.
All right, one more time for safety, folks. Put your seats in the upright position and secure your tables as we are about to take off. Thank you for flying with God of All Media, and we appreciate you choosing us to get you to your destination.
All right, Sean, sit down. Sit down. You know it gets bumpy. I don't want to have to tell your mother something happened on this flight. You hit your head or something? I need you to sit down, all right? Buckle up.
Is this Fort Lauderdale?
I have no idea where we are, okay? I don't even keep track. I just follow the radar screen. We land, we take off. We land, we take off. What's the difference where we are, Emmanuel? Are we up? Are we up yet?
Yep, landing gears up.
Let me know when we're up.
Flaps are up.
I mean, are we in the air yet? I can't see.
The moon and the stars, that's you.
All right, I think we're in the air now. I'm just going to kind of let go of this thing and let it go. Usually we're good with that. Like once we get up, I just let it go and I kind of do my own thing. Usually we're good. It's never gone bad yet. All right, what do you have, Emmanuel? What were you saying?
Oh no, I wasn't saying nothing. I was just saying throw this bitch into autopilot and just roam around the cabin for a bit. Get buck wild. Mile High Club.
Yeah, you can't technically fuck these women on the flight. You got to do it after. HR, I'll get to you. Best I could do is we can have Waxman blow you from here to the destination. It's not gay if you're at least 2,000 feet off the ground. It's a whole different set of rules.
Oh
yeah, I mean, we got this kid that we kind of keep around here. Just kind of hangs off my coattails, and he'll blow you for a piece of wax. But he's going to talk shit to you, which, again, makes it more interesting for some of the clients. He does it all for free. We don't really know what he gets out of it.
Pino, you would make a good in-flight crew.
You think?
Yeah, you handled that very well. You made that announcement pretty good.
Well, shout out to Miss Damsel Medic for the great comment.
Where are we going with this flight now that it's in the air?
Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm off the clock at this point. We're 3.5 in.
Did you
Oh,
hear Nature
this
Boy
is-
got life plus 10, supposedly?
Emmanuel, the fluffer is here. If you need him,
Wow, you said
he's right there.
you can't get me
He
off your
looks like
mind, can
Whoopi
you? Dude, you're a
Goldberg, but
fucking, you are a fag, man.
he
You
looks
got
like Whoopi Goldberg, but when he stops
these little
talking,
man
boy,
fans, though.
can he service? I'll tell you that.
What's going on, Wax Man?
Man, it's gay to fucking sit there and like mute someone every time they try to talk, man. But you want to sit there and talk about someone the whole time. Dude, you're a little sissy boy, man. As soon as I leave, you guys start all fucking talking about fucking in the fucking thing.
Wait, you were still listening? I thought you were mad at me. I thought you left. It's good to know that I have you as a listener now. I got you somehow.
Nah, man, I just having to come by a video where I seen a goofy dude fucking talking this fucking stoner's ear off, and it's just
And you're
fucking
never gonna
insane.
leave from here on out. What is it like to know that you just came across me and what I do, and I got my hooks in you, and you're never gonna find your way out of here? What's it like? What's the feeling?
I feel like I'm watching a fucking like a special kid. Like, where are you? Are you in your, like? Are you? Would you like to give me like a tour around your fucking apartment? It looks like you live in a fucking little
Absolutely,
shack, a little shack
absolutely.
over there.
Yeah,
Quiet,
you
dude. You're gonna
see.
keep. You're
No,
keeping. You're keeping your
listen. I
mom up.
get it. I get it. I'm the faggot, but you want to tour my house and the rooms. All right. I see how
But
you
these give
play.
people a tour
It's
because
kind of
you're talking
indirect.
like you're some. You said you're the god
Yeah.
of media, and it looks like you live in a fucking. This is your
Yeah, no, I
studio.
get it.
Quite
I
fucking
get it
sad,
now.
bro. Quite
Right,
sad.
right. Well, you should come
Give us,
over. We'll hang out.
give us life advice.
We'll cot
Fucking.
flicks. We'll cot flicks and chill. You know, give you a
Are
tour
you
of
allowed
the
to
Don't
cook on the
shack.
practice, man.
stove? Are you allowed to cook in the stove when your mom's like not home?
Oh, she's not my mother. That's the woman that I'm apparently in a relationship with. She's older, but please,
Uh-huh.
my mother's dead, sir.
Wow. Way
Perhaps
to
you're
take it
supposed to feel
there.
bad for
He
me.
must be new. How long? Oh man, fucking A.
What's up, man? Do you want
How
me to
new are
like
you,
come
man?
back
Is
in
it
the
your
chat
first
and we
time?
start from the beginning? Like, I don't know. I feel like your feathers are a little ruffled, you know?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not ruffled at all. My feathers are very laid down. They're very flat and laid down. They're not ruffled at all right now.
So what's going on? What are we talking about? We're talking about Cat Williams. What he do lately?
Did an interview on Joe Rogan. Haven't
Yeah,
seen
was
it
it
yet.
good? Was it
I
good?
haven't watched any of it, but it's super viral and it's got 12 fucking million views, I think, or 20 million views or something crazy. So, and apparently,
Wow, Joe Rogan's
Nature
doing
Boy.
really good. Yeah.
Apparently, Nature Boy just got sentenced to life plus 10 years.
Beta.
And yeah, the Betaverse is real. The Meta Betaverse.
What's the meta betaverse? Is that like the what is that?
Take a guess.
Emotional damage.
Some guys that got hit on the head one too many times.
All right, so I come back and you're talking all this shit when I fucking left, and I come back and I was just like real quiet now. Like you were talking before.
Daddy, chill.
That was quick.
Wait, he left? Oh man. These kids are no fun nowadays.
Makes me wonder if he has any idea how many people are watching on your end versus my end.
I just love having a venue where
mine.
other people can start hearing the voices.
Right. Man, I need some more weed, dude. Fuck. Where is this thing? Yeah, I never really got into this Nature Boy guy, but I always hear people talking about him and stuff. Christos talks about him. I don't know if I've seen any of his shit. Probably at one point, at some point.
Wow.
Click the link, Patrick. Patrick Starr.
Hey, Pineal, did you see that whole Cat Williams interview? Did you sit down
No,
and watch
none
the
of
whole
it.
thing?
None of it.
I actually, yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing.
The Joe
I don't
Rogan
know.
one or the Shannon Sharp one?
Nah, the Joe Rogan one. Cat Williams he was tiptoeing a lot of, I felt like Joe Rogan was putting him on the spot with his knowledge, and Cat Williams was kind of tiptoeing around it.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta watch it to see what I mean. I don't know. I felt like Cat Williams knows a lot, but he was almost, I don't know, Joe Rogan was almost making him look like a goofball with some of the stuff he was walking them into, the topics about the pyramids and aliens and the Illuminati, all that shit. They talked about it all.
Now.
Here we go. Strapping
What
your
are you
seatbelts,
concerned
folks.
about, Jack? Talcott clip collection. Comment. And by the way, man, I've worked in very high levels of this, like with our, wildly enough, our world leaders, because they came to me when they said I discovered real eternal life. They came to me literally in the thousands in Venice Beach, California. And I was under, like, at the time, it was David Rockefeller Sr.'s top assassins. And it was literally the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and Soros crew. And in the majority of the agents around me. And literally, there's thousands. I was living on Venice Beach, Rosen Pacific. People would walk by going, what's going on in town? There's black SUVs everywhere. And so, man, I was under the gun, the biggest guns on earth, for like 9 months. Because Lord Jacob Rothschild, in his message after I wrote Queen Elizabeth, he told us to take over, to start ruling the world in new love. They called me the third Adam because I'm
about
willing
to
to
explode.
reconcile the good versus evil that ends all suffering, disease, and death through unconditional love. And I know how to access these guys, and they're actually wanting in the soul of their souls for this to happen. Like, if you look at the files I've shared on the comments, the Google Drive folder, where I showed all the evidence of my claim, screenshots of personal messages from Lord Jacob Rothschild. I've even got conversations with David Rockefeller Jr., the head of the CIA, Gina Pascal. You guys, I've got psychologists that have assessed me over and over again, and they walk away going, oh my God, he just schooled me on psychology. And it's because I've been shown by the Holy Spirit how all of this psyche works. So this is not crazy. This is real. I would walk out the door and I'd have deep state agents all over me, like CIA. I literally had assassins all over me.
Do we just see the proof of any of your claims? Now you have 5 claims.
I do speak with proof. I drop a link to my Gmail folder with tons of evidence. You'll see conversations from David Rockefeller Jr., Lord Jacob Rothschild, Soros posting messages to me on my birthday saying dreamers are the saviors of the world. He posted at 3:21 a.m. because he watched me for years wait for certain moments in time to launch my posts, because they told me I was leading a global love revolution on Facebook. They being the families who started the Federal Reserve and the United Nations.
So you're claiming that we're supposed to honor individuals who, if you come forth and question them and their intentions based on their reputation, they're going to kill you.
Like, if you think I'm an agent, how is it serving any 3-letter agency for me to tell you how to become a master? Like, I've had agents tell me they can't mind control me with their CIA voice God technology because I actually do what the scripture says and keep every thought captive to the obedience of Christ, which this whole group would benefit tremendously from. I've had agent after agent tell me I'm under constant surveillance. And if you look at this right here, this is a fact. We cannot deny this. All of you who are telling me this is false, I've got top world-renowned scientists and the most powerful crowds on Earth affirming this is irrefutable fact. I've been told redundantly by physical agents that we're all being watched, but especially this crazy guy, because they're all wanting to see how you guys receive this unconditional love message. Like I was just sharing with Paul, like he keeps saying how much he wants, and well, you know, you can feel it. He talks about it a lot. And so I was just like, hey, we attract that. I got to answer this 1 second.
Well,
I'm just here to let you know that I am your overlord. You're not free. You're mine. Soon, you'll all be free to do as we please. Goodbye for now.
All right.
Kick me out if I am breaking the frequency. I was meditating, you know, on this, and it's like the Bible says, you know, honor your father.
Can I stop you for a second? Because I'm in control of the panel today, and your frequency is a little off, so I'm gonna have to put you in the bag.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he played the frequency thing on me a year and a half ago, like he did the other night. Had me thrown out. So then when he came on the panel with me, I had to police his frequency. It was only right. It's only fair. All right, where do we go from here, man? I think I never even fulfilled the docket. Technically I got to breaking news. I covered 30 seconds of one breaking news story. So I guess if we watch one cop's killing citizen slaves, technically I've fulfilled the headline. See, this is why I was unemployable, much like Talcott. Because they go, all right, Polly boy, you got to serve breaking news. You got to give them cops killing body cams, the whole thing. And I go, yeah, but you didn't put an S on body cams. And breaking news is not necessarily plural, right? Because the breaking news could just be what I gave you about Israel, Hamas. So I just do the minimum, right? I'm consistent though. I show up every day, 7 days a week, and I do the minimum. And that's a testament to my work ethic and also my genius. Okay, let's be real about it. So stunning work ethic, stunning level of genius, code creativity. One cop's killing citizen slaves body cam. We fulfilled the docket technically, and I'm already 40 minutes over my time. Right, and that's another reason I'm unemployable, because it's like, what? You've been here 8 hours. You only did those 2 things. What were you doing the rest of the time? Smoking weed and talking shit. See, doesn't work at the warehouse. Works here on YouTube. Okay. I'm helping you guys out there. I'm helping you guys get it in line, like Penal Power and others. Okay. This is the kind of education you can't get anywhere else. All right, let's get to the damn murder. Because people need that apparently in their life. It's part of their way of living. It's part of their system. It keeps everybody in line. It's about safety. Mesquite police released body cam footage of officers shooting student who brought gun to school. Isn't that nice? Warning. Very disturbing.
Oh, great. Now they're going to put the fucking notice on my video.
Whatever. Get over it. You knew what you were going to get when you came in here.
I sure did, sir.
Warning.
Your discretion is advised.
He still don't move from the floor in front of him. He still don't move. If he still don't move, and I need you to trust me. Do you understand? It's on the floor between his legs.
Signal.
What's going on today, buddy? Can you talk to us? We would like to help you. That's why we're here.
We're here to help.
Is anything upset you today?
The gun is an implement of helping.
Can you listen to me closely? Please do not reach for that gun, okay? We don't want anything to happen to you or anyone else. Can you do that for me? What has upset you today? Maybe we could talk about it.
Some trouble?
My mom and dad are a slave.
We just need you to step away.
No, I can't handle.
Do you need anything right now?
See, that's how quick it happens.
No.
Kid sick and tired of his mom and dad being a bitch ass slave. Goes and gets a gun, brings it to school to try to prove something. Now he's shot and presumably laying there and bleeding. Good thing we didn't see it even. I'd rather not see it. I guess technically I'm going to have to give you another one. You know, killing grown people is fine. We draw the line at children here. This is a respectable familial broadcast, people. I don't know why you even let me play that. You're sick. No one said anything. As soon as I read the headline, Emmanuel, penile power, folks in chat, you should have stopped me. Children are sacred in this culture and society, unless we're going to shoot them in the classroom, either as policy enforcement or mass shooters. And many other places. DARE program. The DARE program is ungodly. All right, don't get me started. I'm blaming all of my heroin addiction on the DARE program because I never knew how to shoot heroin until they told me. Okay? So I'm not buying it that they came there to help out. They came there to teach me how to do heroin, and it worked perfectly. But it went bad, okay? So I must have missed the message. That's all I got out of it. Showed me a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of drugs and seemingly having a great time and feeling good. And then taught us basically all how to make it and use it. Okay, so that's probably why I don't think they do that anymore. Come to think of it, there's no more DARE program, is there?
Yeah, I learned a lot of bullshit. I learned a lot of bullshit through that program too. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of bullshit, you said?
Yeah, through the whole drug abuse resistance program or whatever. DARE.
Like what?
The cops. I don't know. It was what Paul was saying. They was telling you how to use the drugs, where to find them. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So what if they were saying,
DARE program comes in, they're like, definitely don't go meet the black guy or the Latino in the poor areas of the neighborhoods, and definitely don't get heroin and mix it in a spoon and heat it from the bottom and put a cotton ball in it and suck it up with the syringe and tie your arm off and find a vein and use it. And then they show someone doing it who's like obviously in bliss and euphoria, right? Loving themselves and their life because they no longer have to deal with slavery and genocide. How is that? I wasn't even thinking about heroin before look, this is why this kid's a drug addict. DARE put everyone on drugs. They said it was to get everyone off, and it put everyone on drugs, including me and penile power. I wasn't sitting in class thinking about going to meet Latinos, you know, in the worst parts of the neighborhood and African Americans and getting heroin and using it. I wasn't even thinking about that.
For real, I was
just hanging out.
I wasn't seeing the needles. I wasn't seeing the needles until they showed me where to look for them and what they're for and all that shit. That's when I really started.
Yeah, I just wanted to still be the white Power Ranger, not any like colorism thing. You know, it's just I think the equipment was better. I don't even remember. White Ranger had some kind of sword. I think it's pretty crazy. So it was like White Ranger. Yeah, it wasn't a racial thing. Like I'd be Black Ranger. I'm not, you know. But all of a sudden they're like, well, you know, it kind of occurred to me. I mean, once they showed me how to do heroin, like I started really thinking, and I'm probably never going to be able to be White Ranger. Not only because it's not a real thing and doesn't exist, because we're never going to get a White Ranger uniform to fit me, nor am I going to be able to keep it completely white. And you see all this resin I have all over my fingers. You see how filthy I am. I'm thinking out loud. I'm just I'm venting. All right.
Yeah, that didn't.
You know what it's like to consistently come up here and actively try to be funny and also bomb at the same time? You have no idea what Norm Macdonald's life was like.
I can't say that I do because I don't know who Norm Macdonald was.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the travesty. That is the current state. All right, Norm Macdonald sucks. So maybe they were right. About me, that is. Man, Bitcoin's up, man. Up another 30% overall.
Yeah, I keep dumping all of my extra change into Bitcoin. Just watching it grow.
They're gonna be mad at me at some point. I don't do anything. I don't have anything, but you know, we trade some value from time to time.
Bitcoin is at 304.
Someone's
no,
gonna, someone who listened to the analysis I gave on this broadcast is going to do very well this year. Someone who listened to me when I told them, and JG was right, because like I told him that day, you could throw a rock and hit something that's going to do well. He goes, Floki Inu. You got to have Floki Inu. And I'm like, Floki Inu is going to go up, and so is everything else. But why do you pick that specifically? But it was up 100% today. Floki Inu. So if you listen to JG's horrible, homeless, transient lifestyle financial advice, lifestyles of the broken infamous, he told you get Floki Inu. That was on this broadcast. Even if you listen to him and his horrible advice, I don't give advice. He wasn't giving advice either. Technically, I guess he was just reading a list of things that he said we're going to go up. JG gets the credit for being here on this broadcast, and this broadcast gets the credit for potentially making millionaires all across this nation. Extremely successful people in this audience, not on panel. Don't look for it on panel. It's in the audience. I'm making that. I'm helping to make that and create that. So is JG in his own befuddled and bizarre way. So we thank him for that. How are you, Christos? Were you here before earlier?
Hey.
Or am I really losing it?
Yeah, no, I was just sitting silent in the background while I was multitasking like Pineal.
Right.
Is it too noisy with my mic here? Because I'm driving.
Go ahead, sir. What do you got? Just get it
Well, I
out.
thought we might want to get a Cotter sit rep, situation representation, like they say in the military spec ops and all that nonsense.
Oh, okay. So you want to report on the Talcottian slave? All right, I'll give you what you need. What are the
Yeah,
odds
starting
that
to feel like
Talcott's house
tradition.
is going to get saved at the last second, and he's going to say it's God, and then become a world famous preacher and make $1 billion and get everything he's been clawing for that we've been laughing at him about? Because really, something bigger's going on here, brothers and sisters.
Well, it's like what you say, right? God takes care of babies and retards.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? So,
when he's listening, he makes people feel very safe. But when he's not listening,
potluck.
Like other rules.
bitch face.
No, dude, I'm not the first person to tell you. Like, people squabble over the most fringe topics that have nothing to do with any sort of like practical goals. Here.
Yeah, that's you. That's
Like,
you
I'm not-
guys. That's
I
why
think
I'm
that
slaying.
maybe my
Slaves love
biggest-
arguing nonsense topics.
Like qualm,
Jack.
but like
Jack.
I'm here. I'm
Jack.
willing to,
that's you.
whatever. But like, people don't take this information the next day, dude. They forget it. And they come back and they go like, oh, not much has changed, and like it's like normalizing like idleness in a way.
That's what you did. That's exactly what you did.
I'm going to eat while you monitor
Exactly
slave.
what you did.
No,
Here
Sean,
you're just
Sean's
talking,
beating the whole
you're not
broadcast, so
answering.
why
Can you
should I
explain
do
what
it?
exactly
I'm
what I
over
did?
time
'Cause
anyway.
I mean, you
I'm
may
an
have a
hour in
point.
bonus
You
content.
showed up here.
I've done my
You
job.
showed up here. Let's
Just
see.
fucking brown boy.
I'm here.
I did my
Anything different
time.
Yet, right? And I'm not sure what that means. Still poking
You were
the
poking your forehead when I said that.
Okay.
You were like something about the thoughts, and you were like poking your head.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a jokester, man. Yeah.
Yes, but this is what I mean. What you just said. You showed up believing you'd already formed an opinion of what you were going to have here because you haven't actually taken the time to find the true value in what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm listening.
Well, I appreciate that, and I hope
Because I do care. I do care. Like, I do want fucking everybody, no matter who they are, even you, not even you, but even anybody, to have a good day. The fact that I say the things that I say, I don't know, man. You may have a point.
Thank you.
But I may have a point too.
Well,
if I don't have a point, then you don't have a point, right?
Tell you what. I think the point is, the point I'm trying to offer is you can do a better job of understanding me and the other point I want you to try and accept from me is I do not appreciate the people with the patterns you offered to me today jumping in here and immediately offering criticisms and insults. I don't appreciate it. Kind of throws
Do
take me out of the joy of doing what I'm doing.
I hear what you're saying, man, but like you also offered me criticisms too. You know, and I'm taking them. I'm like, you know what? The guy might be right. I got to think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
please do. Please do. Welcome, Tarek.
What's up, Tarek? Peace.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. Go ahead, man. You guys take it over. I don't want, obviously nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings, man. It's just more like, let's get something rolling. You know what I mean? Like,
this fucking guy, Tariq, he peace and cheat on Bible. He peace and
if I
he
can say
cheat
something, Jack,
on Bible.
this is what I touched on yesterday, Jack, if you remember, and I'm sure you remember. It's like a nonstop thing that every day you have to go through this. It doesn't matter if you agree, if somebody agrees with you or not. It's always coming off kind of like insulting a little bit, like sarcastic, whatever the motive is for whoever's on the panel. And I just jumped on. I didn't see the whole thing, but you can tell from the tone of the voice sometimes.
Hey, I think the tone showed we had a misunderstanding. I'm hoping, actually, that right in line with the topic, every day is an opportunity to renew, to regroup, to reevaluate, and, to rebuild.
yeah, that's why, like, Tarek has a point too. And, if he doesn't mind elaborating on that, like, I think anybody who with ears to hear and eyes to see will listen and hear and see.
I wasn't like specifically, saying anything about you, but Jack, like he said, like every day, at least one or two or three would do the same thing to him, and I'm not talking about you precisely. And then it doesn't make his path easy. It's like, why are these people coming on the panel?
Tarek, is the easy path the right path? Dude, come on, man. We both know the easy path ain't the right path. Come on.
Let's keep it within the context. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Because I actually, Tarek,
of what?
Well, the context of whether you believe me or not, what do you think I'm doing this for? What do you think I've been talking about? Right?
But yeah, I understand, but like I was asking.
Please answer this question.
Okay. What was the question? What do I think you've been talking for?
What is my goal? What do you think I am trying to achieve by spending my time each day on YouTube with these live streams? What do you think I'm trying to do?
I think you're trying to, number one, establish a schedule that is something that you believe will help people. That's it.
You think I'm here to set up a schedule
to help people? Yeah, I mean, helping people with a schedule. I mean, however way you want to say it.
You think I'm trying to help people with their schedules?
I mean, on their daily basis, like you said, like you're here, like you're trying to help people, right? So you are scheduled to help people in a way. I'm not trying to like frame you in or something. I'm just saying, like you're.
Well, here I'm trying to wonder. See, this is what I'm getting at. You don't have a clue what my end goals are. What I'm trying.
Why not?
Well, I just asked you. It appears you don't have a clue where I'm actually aimed at, what I'm doing, and what I'm hoping to achieve.
I said you're trying to help people, but okay, go ahead. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I said you're trying to help people, man. That's what I said.
You said trying to help people with their schedules. Do you think schedules is an important fucking
No, well, you said you're here every day, and I equated that to a schedule. Okay. And then I said, like, you're scheduling time to help people.
besides the schedule, okay, so I do the schedule with the purpose of helping people. That's generally what you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think, I'm spending my time, and I've gone through the trouble of scheduling myself with the idea I can help people.
Yes.
What is the help you think people might receive from me?
How long has Jack
They
been
receive
helping
a
people?
visual image, an audio,
and who has he actually helped?
message, and it comes from a person, and not a robot.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the why? See, the why, the meaning, the purpose.
Why you do what you do? Because everyone
Yeah.
wants to help everybody.
Okay, but
I mean, in my mind, but I've been to other countries, man. They don't treat me the same, man. They're like, you a whitey and shit. Like, they're crazy. I'm like, you come to my country, I'll love you, dude. Like, I'll help you. And they're like, give me money. Like, I understand. Like, yeah, there's a thing in there, man.
But what Jack's trying to say, I'm sorry, let me jump in, Jack, for 1 second. How long you been watching Jack? This is Aaron, right? I believe this is Aaron,
It's
whatever
not
name
Aaron,
is.
but
Okay.
to answer your first question, I've been watching for like 3 months. This is a very fair.
I got you. So Jack's main point, it's always been he wants to get a hold of Congress, try to change the people's life, get like all the corruption out of the way, start a community and stuff like
but
that.
who
That's been
doesn't,
always
right?
his message.
Wait, what's
That's
that?
always been his message. That's his mission.
Veterans for
Okay,
peace.
veterans for peace.
Right, ending wars.
Yeah, who doesn't want to end wars, man? Fuck yeah. I'm with you.
All right.
I'm trying to be like, yo, maybe we could do it this way too.
Okay, but no. What I'm trying to get you to see is what you have been doing is not helping me. It's been disruptive. It's been interruptive. It's been,
In what way?
You don't see it?
Well, in what way have I hurt you or like anybody?
Yet. You don't see how your confusion is unhelpful.
I'm asking how you could describe my confusion so I can understand it.
Your lack of understanding, your impulse to offer criticisms at what you do not understand. Then add to
what
that,
don't I understand that I'm offering criticisms for?
Me. You don't understand me.
Well, just give me dude, I'm not trying to press you, man. It's
here, hold on just a moment.
I'm trying to learn too, dude. Like, teach me.
All right. Bear with me.
This is coming out sarcastic, man. To me, it is.
You don't understand. I don't want to take criticism.
Not very. Brown's boy has.
Who doesn't want to learn, man?
Tell you what, I've been trying to deal. I've got another asshat snafu in the back. You are not coming on the panel. Okay, you leave. And this Spokane word. How can I help you? Spokane word.
Hi, Dad.
What are you doing? What is your purpose?
Dad, it's me.
Holy.
You can leave as well.
This is so pathetic, Jack. This is so sad that we have to witness this shit every single day on the broadcast. People trying to disrupt you. You ask the guy, what do you think I'm doing? He tells you you're trying to put people's schedule. And then you tell him his misunderstanding. He's like, what do you mean misunderstanding? He knows what he's doing, Jack. He's just trying to piss you off and get you out of your rhythm. That's exactly what they all do. Paul's monkeys and all that. With all
Both of
respect
you
to everybody.
dumbasses misunderstood.
Hey, Tarek, you're right, but I actually don't think he's aware.
Oh, maybe.
People are this cognitive dissonance, the blindness of our ego.
This
shit is severe. It is serious. God is amazing. Praise God. God is so good. See the evidence of God's goodness. We will not learn. The answers can be right there, right? That's why there's these adages. Don't cast pearls before swine. The swine who just want to insult and trample all the goodness away,
Yeah, I did that
I
yesterday with you
honestly
guys.
don't think, well, not to name names, but to name names, I honestly don't think Paul, Snafu, even Brown's boy, Tommy, I don't think these people know what they're doing. So,
Yep.
but then it comes down to, welcome, Goblin. You make me question you too sometimes.
Hey, how's it going, man? That's all good. You can question me and all that. I just wanted to come in and let you know, man, you are making a change. People do listen to what you say. People do take that shit into consideration, man. Much love, dude. Take it easy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I believe that and I see that. And this is where, okay, so then it comes down to me and my choices. What do I do?
Just keep
Do
adding
I call out the
fuel to the
confused?
bonfire
Do
that
I
Jack has become.
engage with the confusion? And then it disrupts my energy, you know, and actually, golly geez, man.
Jack's like a living wicker man.
There's a lot of good people here. There's a lot of good people all around us. Hey, renewing and regrouping. Brother, you've been on your own path of growth, and I don't know a lot about your stories, but I'm sure you've had some times. Have you had to start over, renew, regroup in your past?
Of course.
You willing to share any of those?
In terms of renewing, like my whole, like in my entire life, like start all over.
Well, it may not be substantial, not in an entirety, but I mean, I know I've had several times where it's been real change in direction for my life.
I would say, Jack, my real change in direction was when I had the 3 back surgeries, and it affected me and got me addicted to opiate for like 3 or 4 years. And then I went through a divorce because of that and that made me say, because of my daughters, like, that's it. I don't care what the pain is, I have to change. And that's
Good
when I
for
made
you.
my change. Yep.
Good for you. That must have been, I bet that was kind of scary and tough, but good for you, man.
Oh yeah, it was tough, Jack, because it all happened, you know, when it rains, because it all happened in like 2 or 3 years. My whole life was perfect, making great money, great wife, everything's going perfect, business, you name it, and all of a sudden in 4 years, everything's gone.
How long ago was that?
16 years ago.
Okay, a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, it is what life brings. Welcome, TBE. Good to have you too, brother.
What's up, Mr. Jack? How are you, sir?
I am feeling blessed. I truly do feel blessed. How about you?
I'm great. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for asking. Just wanted to come up and listen for a second. I don't have much time, so I just want to hang out for a little bit. If that's all right with you.
Appreciate it. Actually, you might be able to help with some idea on scripture. Because
I'll try my best. I'll try my best. I'm no theologian.
I understand. The topic I was looking at is the with renewing and regrouping, how that could be tied to the idea of the baptism, allowing the first death, allowing our old ways to die so that we can be renewed and reborn. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you are after your baptism, you know, you're sort of reorientated towards Christ at that point. You know, your foundation is Christ, and it should be the center point of your life as a Christian. Of course, you know, people could still have bad habits and bad tendencies that still linger. That's something that can be worked on for sure. In the new life, in the new scope that you're in, you know what I mean? In the Christian life, that is. You're not going to find that anywhere else. In my opinion.
What's that?
In my opinion. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. I do.
Okay.
No, I do agree with what you said. What came to my mind though was some of the other applications I've seen. You got a little echo. I'm gonna mute you for when you're some of the Christian interpretations I've heard is that you must just simply, it's like going through the motion. You just say the words. Say the words, I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and then poof, I'm saved. And then all of my old habits they'll go away eventually.
No, yeah, I agree with you. It's not some magic spell. You know, there's, you know, our Lord commands us to do things. So
It does, but I truly believe, I guess what I'm saying is I see a lot of people taking it half-heartedly, going through the motions and then making the claim that, oh, well, you haven't gone through this tradition like me. Well, you're not as good as me. But
Jack, that's not judging, but no, I know you're saying you're making it through an example. Never mind. I apologize.
no, you're right. No, you're right. Thank you. I'm being judgmental. What I here's my views. What I found myself, I went through a very intentional and purposeful, like mind, heart, spirit, a change, a commitment, you know. And actually, for me, that commitment came easy because after my suffering, God allowed me to feel love. Holy shit, when I felt that love, that's the only thing I care. That's all I want. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the love from God.
Hey, Jack, did you have a near-death experience?
No.
All right, because like I've had people in my family like almost die and shit, and like I was, or like relative, you know, people you know, just mentors, anybody, and I've been like, holy shit, like there's more miracles than I thought.
That's what I started learning about. I didn't, I'd heard of the miracles from the Bible and yeah, whatever. So some shit happened 2,000 years ago. Big deal. Right? I didn't really think about the relevance.
Jesus' miracles?
Huh? Yeah. It's like whatever. Turn water to wine. So what?
Wait, what? Okay.
That was,
all right. I'm not going to go to the rigmarole with you.
That was my
Jack,
attitude.
I got to go, Jack. Thank you for letting me up, man.
Respect, brother. Thank you. That was my attitude, though, in the past. I didn't believe in miracles. And then my path took me to starting to learn again. Brothers and sisters, I have learned testimony, firsthand experiences. Miracles happen. There are angels, there are spirits of goodness, there are spirits of darkness, there are so many mystical and magical aspects to this life that we're living. It really is, in my opinion, it really is unfortunate that we spend so much of our time focused on the corporate job, on the political news, on the economic forecasts. We miss out on life. Hey, TVE, I'm being honest. That was a long time ago. I've corrected myself since then. And sincerely, I pray constantly, incessantly. I am constantly in praise, in gratitude, in awe. And I guess I am. I'm counting on miracles at this point in my life. But I think it's going to happen. I really do. I do think God is aligning everything for us in this world, in this lifetime. And if things are aligned for me, man, once some doors open up and I start getting, once a team starts building, then it will turn into a momentum, and that momentum will it'll bring change all around. It's my prayer.
That's right. That is right, Jack. We gotta keep it positive and not let others' energy affect us in any way. And Bryce Beer in the chat, I pray for you because he's saying Tarek is so stupid to realize that he's not helping Jack by enabling him. Jack needs professional help. Like, you people, like, do you ever say anything good to anybody? I see that to Bryce, to Lex, to all the people that always are hating. What's your motive? Like, what are you doing every day? Does this make you feel better when you say things to people like that? Like, how do you live your life being happy when you're constantly doing daily this kind of talk? I don't get it, Jack.
It's crazy. I didn't see that. And
yeah, that's what he said.
It's fascinating. Hey, Tarek,
Yeah.
I mentioned this on the stream earlier, and you've been publicly and vocally supportive. I appreciate you. I respect that. And for the others, for those of you who have seen and you've been supportive, hoping for the best in me, please trust. Your faith, I think, is well placed. I'm not here to steer anyone wrong. I'm not here to hurt anyone. And I'm not here just for myself, honestly. I do believe that this is my path, our path. Our path brings us to today. My path is just what I say. I want to bring more light and love into this world. And right now, those of you who are here tuned in and who may tune in later, you guys are the gatekeeper to some extent. You decide how much I succeed. If you can receive some encouragement and love from here, from me and this group today, well, then that's my hope. If you can't, and I know from Brown Boy.
I know. We just gotta keep praying for people, Jack. That's all we can do.
I learned he cares. I did see a genuineness and a level of care. I know that sometimes talking to me when I'm calling people out, it's not always comfortable conversations, but he seemed to be just fine. And I think his care, I think the care from Brown's Boy is what draws him back. I think even the care from Snafu is what draws him back. But love is what it's about, guys. Our Creator, we are created to care. And so much of this world, it wants to teach us not to care or to care about the wrong things. What I've chosen to care about here, what's his name? Brown's Boy, for just very simple, very simple. What do I care about most? Right now. Right now. And right now includes all that I can influence. And so I care about all that I can influence, all that might be in my area to help keep safe, to help safeguard, to help care for in this moment. Were you going to say something, brother?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat while I was listening to you, Jack, and I'm kind of trying to interact. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But like Sterling, Ray, do you realize that Jack will be homeless in like whatever days? Just to let you know, you don't know Jack's situation. Nobody does exactly. And you don't know how these things work out, even at, foreclosure, whatever the case may be. I used to own houses. And things take time, sometimes years after. It doesn't happen that way. So instead of focusing on the negative and keep bringing that up, why don't you try to bring some positive to the
Amen.
table, or maybe help. And I'm not saying help financially. I'm just saying help in anything you can do. All you guys do in the chat is talk about the 30 days, 20 days. Oh, Jackson be homeless. Do you know that, Tarek? I know that, but that's not the case. Let's focus on the positive. And the same thing for Miss Daisy. I respect Daisy. I think she's really, she has a good heart. But yeah, I do know what's going on, Daisy. I just keep it positive. I don't always stay on the negative.
Amen. And this here for all the viewers. I know there's a lot of people who do care, right? You're being tested. Just as my faith is being tested, your faith is being tested as well. And complaining and blaming about situations or problems, it really doesn't help. It really does nothing. We feel better momentarily complaining and blaming whatever, but it doesn't solve anything. And sincerely, it's my goal. It is my goal. For those who want to help, there are many ways we can do so. Individually, for yourself, let's focus on that. For me, my goal is to open doors of communication, right? Help me open doors of communication to people who might be willing to help, and God bless. That's all I'm looking for. But for each person tuning in, what we can do, sincerely, I want to encourage you, hopefully inspire you, but truly encourage to go within you today, right? Right now, or after the stream, or tonight before you go to sleep, sometime today, go within and connect with the light within, the love, the light of who you are, and recognize the light that you know, the love that you know of, right, comes through the breath of life, breathed into us by the Father, by the Creator, right, by God. The breath of life comes from nature, and it is a gift for us to know. If you can find gratitude and find peace with your breath, nothing more, right? That is the key. Sincerely, if you allow yourself to crumble, fall apart, just, all right, God, I give up. I'm nothing anymore. I can't do it on my own. Right? Let it go. And then just become grateful. God has given me breath. And by this breath, I surrender me to God's will. And if you can surrender yourself and your will to love, to God, to peace. Do that from now on, dude. We're good. Tarek, I honestly think. Here, go ahead, brother, please.
No, I want to say something to all the Christians, all the Muslims, all the Jews, all the people that really care. Like, instead of saying things in the chat like gaslighting, Tarek, he's going to be homeless and all that, Jack, my offer still stands for you. Like I told you a long time, if you need a place to stay after, I have a room here. You're always welcome. And that's how everybody should be. Like the people close to you, maybe people that are next to you, it doesn't matter. They should always, if they are able to, they should offer, because we're all brothers and sisters, all child of God, correct? So that's how we should treat each other, not to put each other down and wait for somebody to be out of their house and all that. That's what sometimes it kind of aggravates me, and you hear it from my voice. It's a constant thing, nonstop, with this thing, instead of helping, instead of maybe doing something to help anybody, Jack or anybody. It doesn't matter who it is.
You know, the darkness of selfishness. Selfishness, it shields our light. It destroys our light. It corrupts our light. How about that? Selfishness corrupts our light. And many people, this is where I started the stream earlier too, is many people don't realize we're selfish. But the joy of giving, the joy of living, those two go together. If you can find more joy in giving in any way, it doesn't have to be economic, doesn't have to be just financial.
Yep.
But you can give of you and your resources, you feel better about living. It's really kind of that simple, I think.
I gotta give you credit, Jack. You've been very patient. I think your patience has grew a lot, and just dealing with this, the chat sometimes, and Paul or anybody else that's again on panel and tries to instigate or do their thing like they always do. I think you have definitely grew in that area a lot.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I feel like I've grown as well. And this experience online, it's been an interesting growth for me, trying to figure out some of these characters along the way. And we've met some very powerful and strong characters. I don't think Paul's as big of a joke as many people think. But I also don't think Paul's as powerful as he thinks.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
We've got that going.
No, I agree. I think today I watched this broadcast for like maybe 30, 40 minutes. He had some really good topics that he was speaking about, and that's when he shines.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear. Hey, brother, it is Saturday evening here. Do you have plans for the night?
Oh no, Jack. I'm home, man.
Good for you.
I don't go out. Yeah.
I haven't decided yet. I'm allowing the day to unfold itself. My faith in God is strong. I don't know what the future's going to bring, but I have been leaning into the ideas of possibilities, right?
Yeah.
I have faith that what is happening today opens different doors for tomorrow. And every day, man, I'm knocking on doors. I got some reasons to be hopeful coming up in the next week or two, and that's in plenty of time before the other deadline. So things are going to be I think God's got it all under control. What
I think so too.
Go ahead, please.
No, I'm lagging a little bit, Jack. Go ahead. I'll let you talk. Let me move around to get a better signal.
Actually, I was suggesting maybe I should wrap up.
No, of course, Jack. If you feel like it, I don't know what you got going on for Saturday, but I'm going to be home. So if you're doing something and you want to wrap up, that's what you should do.
I think that's the best bet. I appreciate you, Tarek. I appreciate you joined in, and
thank you for having me on.
God bless. And Brown's, I think that was Brown's boy who joined. I appreciate everyone joining. I appreciate the opportunities to discuss doubts and disbelief. I do. I'd much rather have the chance to address and discuss some of the doubts and disbelief, some of the accusations, rather than just continuing to see those. So, brothers and sisters, I genuinely appreciate the conversations, the dialogue. I'm not literally knocking on doors. Don't judge me. No, I am sending emails, phone calls. I'm pursuing introductions. I've still got a lot of hope and a lot of faith in what the future may bring. The future I see sincerely. Well, I've been receiving confirmation. There's a lot of creators out there right now. Those of you who resonate with me, I understand. I'm not the best. I do a decent job, but there's a lot of room for improvement in the way I explain some of these things. But if you are inspired by and resonate with some of the ideas of spirituality that I'm talking about, if you're curious, reach out. I'm happy to share the resources I found, but trust yourself, trust your own spirit. Just start asking questions. Start looking up, look for answers, seek to know. I encourage you, seek to know more about your spirituality, your spiritual nature, your true nature. You can learn a lot of explanations from others, other people sharing their experiences, just like me. I'm clumsily sharing my experiences and what I have found of value within the inner work I've done. You can hear explanations. Other people have a lot of graphics and they do a lot of good work. But in the end, it's all going to be done inside. Every bit of your life, every bit of your growth, every bit of your success, it's going to come from going within to refine and develop and to bring you, the greater you, forth. And there is a greater you that's waiting to come forth. There's a greater version of you waiting to be discovered. The world hasn't seen it yet. Maybe you haven't either. Maybe it just wasn't time yet, right? God's timing is mysterious. But the confirmations I'm receiving around the world is that I'm receiving from others is there are reports that there are many like me. Maybe it's you. We are here to bring the light, right? The star seeds, the whatever, the light workers. I know there's all sorts of offense over different names, but we are here to serve the light of God. The light of God is wisdom, it is beauty, it is love, and those are the things that make you great. What we can each do is spend time within ourselves, growing the light, growing the beauty, growing the wisdom, and becoming generous, more generous with the good. Because when you make yourself more generous with the good, guess what you're doing? You're aligning with the divine order. The divine order, the rules of nature and the principles of life, it is for the good. So, brothers and sisters, thank you again for joining. I pray you receive a little bit of joy, a little bit of encouragement, and maybe even a little spark of faith for you to carry on with you till the next time. And if the opportunity arises for you to serve the next human, please do. Say yes to life. Say yes to generosity, yes to giving, yes to growing, yes to learning. Say yes to love. Again, share this around, invite others back, and tune in again next time. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you, and God bless us all.
For fuck's sakes.
All right, go ahead, Peanut Power and Emmanuel, and give me the final word, and I'm out of here.
Do nothing to unfuck yourselves, brothers and sisters. God has it. Praise God.
All right, that'll work. Go ahead, Peanut Power.
Peace and prosperity and pineal power and all those good things. I was kind of in and out there. I didn't really catch all of it, but good stuff as always. Good vibes, good love, brothers and sisters. Choose love. I meant to say. Thank you, Paulie, for your time. Have a great night. If you want to hop over, back up. Later on, I should be live, most likely.
Goodbye, Sean. I'll see you later. Thank you, Julian Barbary, for your contribution. I'm out of here. Mazel from out west. Outro for you bitch ass motherfuckers. We're back tomorrow, sometime between 12 and 3 MDT. As always, Unslave one out. You know how this goes, right? There's levels to this shit. Standing on truth and not wavering. But these folks want to talk all this high power shit, want to act like they're righteous. You bitch ass motherfucker. I'm so sick of these people, bro. Never done a motherfucking thing and seemingly never will. You bitch ass motherfucker. First hand experience can't be invalidated by the unknowing unbeliever. You bitch ass unexperienced. Are you kidding? Bitch ass. If it could, we wouldn't be here having these conversations because the devil would already have this place. You bitch ass motherfucker. What we're talking about is so concerning to realize the majority of the public will just sit around and watch shit that's bitch ass meaningless and valueless that gives them no application in the world to change their life. You bitch ass motherfucker. Experiential, observable, explainable, and demonstrable. What I represent in this thing, refocus, right? Re-energize. You bitch ass motherfucker. Do I want to go along to get to a bag? Bitch ass. Or am I calling everybody out on how we've fallen short so we get somewhere with this? Because if not, it's all over at some point. The question is when. You bitch ass motherfucker. So how are you changing to meet life on life's terms and provide solutions to the problems we face? You bitch ass motherfucker. If you're not doing that, you bitch ass motherfucker, well, then I gotta step out into the front, into the leadership position. I gotta put a target on me. You bitch ass. I gotta do what won't be done. Bitch ass. Right? It's not that it can't be done, it won't be done because they're cowardly. You bitch ass motherfucker. You're gonna have to hold fast to who and what you are and what you know. You bitch ass motherfucker. I know I'm the enemy because of what I stand for, what I do, and what I'm willing to say. Bitch ass, and what I'm not willing to do and say. You bitch ass motherfucker. Punk ass bitches are riding around in their convertible. Bitch ass breathing in the toxic heavy metals. Bitch ass slave trails. You bitch ass motherfucker. I'm here. I'm calling everybody out. Anybody can get it. Gorilla season. Gorilla season. Anybody can get it. I'm here.